right. Just one moment. Just one moment. Sorry, I have the. Oh god. I'm still unmuted. I'm still muted on. I have the stream unmuted. Oh fuck. There we go. Okay. Oh man, my setup is so fucked at the moment. Anyways, just a sec. Sorry, I'm closing Steins Gate. Please. I can't listen to music. I can't listen to music with lyrics and talk at the same time. I'm sorry. It was blasting right into my fucking ear. Anyways, what's up, watchers? I've remembered that I did have a sign-on. I did have a little nickname for you guys. Only remembered this because I ended up, watching a solid chunk of the last Steins Gate stream. I thought that I would remember a lot more than I did, and then I opened up that VOD, and one of the first things I said about the game was, okay, so last time we almost got shot. Okay, let me just back this up. So, if you're just watching the VODs after the fact, you know, going through the playlist, you might be a little confused about all this. So, last time I streamed this game, it was August 2023, and I was unemployed, like I am right now. And it was like right before I got my new job. It's been 3,000 years since the last Steins Gate. It sure has been. Hi, Red. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, it's been like 3,000 years. So basically, I got my last job, but because it was so customer service heavy, and because I am severely fucking introverted, and I was not used to dealing with people that much, I basically, no, Souls, I got a new job, and then the company went under, so I'm unemployed again. Unfortunately, that's just the way that cookie crumbled. But hi, Souls, welcome to the stream. So, basically, yeah, it was a bummer, and now I'm looking for new work, and that's going about as well as any job hunt can, which is to say not great. But oh well. I'm keeping my chin up and I'm just gonna keep applying. That's kind of the best thing you can do. Anyway, so yeah, so we played this before I got my last job, and then because I got my new job, I just didn't have any energy to spare for talking for, like, a solid year. And then once I was unemployed again, after that company went under, I basically just had a bunch of other stuff to do in my personal life. Like, I had a lot of stuff that needed to get sorted out. I had a lot of friends that I wanted to go visit while I had the time and the money. So, yeah, I'm only just getting back to this now. I am back! Hello, Life! Welcome to the stream! It has been a hot fucking minute. So, yeah, admittedly, you know, my predictions probably aren't gonna be as good as they were whenever I was playing the game on, like, a weekly basis, or, like, twice every week. But at the same time, I still do, like, love these characters, and I did review the VOD for the last stream. I was actually playing it on, like, 1.5 times speed as I was setting up stream today. And yeah, that's where I got fucking Jesus, Red. But yeah, so I was just fucking dumbfounded whenever, like, the first thing I said about the game was, yeah, last time we almost got shot again. And I'm like, what? Huh? I don't remember this. Because what I remembered was, first off, that this takes place in the timeline where Okabe, because in the end of Steins Gate 1, Okabe ends up, like, accidentally stabbing Kurisu in the stomach while trying to protect her from her evil fucking dad. And this is the timeline where he just kind of, gave up. Yeah, we're in the beta timeline. And, Kurisu's dead. Okabe has PTSD. It does make me feel kind of weird about having the Okabe jackass thing. Like, I'm sure it's gonna come up again. I refuse to let my guard down. But, it is a little, I don't think I've actually used Punch-a-Chuni a single time in Steins Gate 0. But yeah, so Okabe is like real fucked up over this. There was a new character named Maho. She's cool. I like her. There was another new character named Kagari, I think her name was. And she was Mayuri's adopted daughter from the future who was sent back in time to have a better life or something. I also remember that there's like an AI program of Kurisu in Okabe's smartphone, and I think that we were doing the route where we were just talking to her over and over and over and over. And then Okabe ends up suddenly, like, timeline hopping back into the beta timeline where Kurisu is alive, and at the end of the last... Yeah, Amadeus. The Amadeus system. That's why Kurisu's in the smartphone. Ends up going to the beta timeline, and at the end of the last stream, Kurisu had kind of figured out that we were from another timeline, and she was like, okay, well, I remade the phone wave, which, horrible fucking idea! Horrible idea! Why would you do this? Have we learned nothing? And she was basically like, yeah, I'm gonna fix the timeline, I'm gonna send you back to your proper home or something. So, anyways, I'm gonna have to figure a lot of this out via context clues. Seemingly required, though, yes, like, we did not have a choice whenever it came to, like, switching timelines the last time. It was pretty much forced on us, so... Let's see... I'm just gonna open up the game, and let's switch over to, the game screen. Just give it a second. I had this all set up. Okay, perfect. Okay, there's problems. Just give me one moment. My setup is as scuffed as ever. Oh, also, I will say, I don't know how long tonight's stream is gonna be, because on one hand, this is a game where I don't have to talk too much, but on the other hand, I did just come back from a 5-day visit with family, like, 2 days ago, and I was spending pretty much every day talking with people as much as I could, so I may not have very much talking juice in my system tonight. I'm gonna go for as long as I can, and it'll probably still be about the same amount of time, like 2.5, 3 hours is what I'm aiming at, so, yeah, so without too much more preamble, let's get started. Because it's been long enough, I don't want you guys waiting any longer than, you know, the year, like, 3 months that it took. Oh yeah, everyone got, like, slight redesigns, I think. Because I'm seeing... Can't remember her name, no! I like her, Faris! Faris got a new design and it's cute. I think Luca got a new design as well and it's cute. Alright, let's get back into it. Oh, we're already back on the pain train, cool. Color gradually returned to my blacked out vision. The lab started to come back into focus. I could tell immediately that the world line had changed. I could still see Kurisu when I closed my eyes. But she wasn't in the development room anymore. It was like the whole thing had been a daydream. It is very fun that we came back, like, just in time for him to return to a new, like, timeline. It's kind of like how in me and Val's Great Ace Attorney series, we joke that every time that we take, like, long hiatuses between playing that Ryunosuke's just trapped in a fucking time void. That's where Okabe's been for the last year and 3 months. It was like the whole thing had been a daydream. I felt like I'd been caught in the boundary between dreaming and wakefulness. I was back. Back to a world without Kurisu. This wasn't the Alpha world line. There was no point in even bothering to check. A moment ago, only Kurisu and I had been in this room. And now, everyone was here.
Okari, どうしたの? 具合悪い?
I cannot wait to hear her say Tutoru again. I cannot wait, it's been too long. I know that this isn't the time for this because of the dramatic music, like something serious is happening, but like... I long to hear the Tutoru again.
いや、大丈夫だ。
Mayuri.
薬飲みますか？
平気だよ。心配ない。
Lukako. And
本当に？無
Kagari.
理しちゃダメだよ。
Kagari Shina. If Mayuri and Kagari were here, that meant I was back to the Beta World line.
ちょっと腹が減っただけだ。朝から何も食べてなくてな。
I mean, that would do that to you. I've done that before.
もうオカリンさんたらダメだよ。ちゃんとご飯は食べなきゃ。ダルおじさんみたいに大きくなれないよ。
ああ、なるくらいなら一食抜いた方がマシだよ。
Aw, come on, man. Huh?
だったらマユシーが何か作ってあげるよ。え、ママが作れるの？
Well, wait. Wait, you know? Wait, in the stream I watched before, she didn't know. At least I think she didn't. I kind of skipped around a little bit because, admittedly, I forgot that I had to watch this, and I had to watch the last VOD until like an hour before the stream started. And the stream was like 2 hours long. But, alright, what's going on here?
もう、かがりちゃんまでそういうこと言うんだから。これでもね、最近はユキさんにお料理教えてもらってるんだよ。あ、じゃあ僕が手伝うから。
Oh, right, we got to meet some of Mayuri's friends, too, like her cosplay friends. I don't remember all of them, but I remember that Daru, like, one of them is, like, Suzuha's mom or something. Which, yeah, that sure is a plot line. I completely forgot about that until now.
待ってくれ。
すみません。僕、手伝わない方がいいですか？
いや、そうじゃない。そうじゃないんだ。
I think I can tell what's about to happen. I looked around at everyone, then back at Kagari.
かがりさん。
やだな、オカリンさん。私のことは、かがりでいいって言ってるのに。
Something was different. Yeah, something definitely is different here.
じゃあ、かがり。さっき、まゆりのことをなんて呼んでたか聞いてもいいか？
Yeah, this is the elephants in the room right now.
って、ママだよ。
どうして？
どうしても何も、ママはママだもん。ね、ママ。
Okay. Chat, you're gonna have to help me out a little bit here, if you remember. If you remember these things. Was Okabe never told about this? Like, did he not know that this connection existed? Because I know that we saw it in a flashback. I remember that we saw this in a flashback. But was that information, like, not given to Okabe? Or is he just confused because he didn't think that Kagari knew? Ayuri's friends are Fubuki and Kaide. I think he's confirming why she's calling that to her now. Okay.
やっぱりそう呼ばれるの、ちょっと照れちゃうな。
I felt vaguely dizzy watching Mayuri fidget in embarrassment. He forgot with how long it's been. He's forgetting the plot too.
知ってるのか？二人とも。未来の世界で。
Okay. If I had just kept reading it, it would have been confirmed. I feel like I do that a lot, where I like question things and then 2 sentences later the characters just confirm.
かがりちゃんのことはオカリンが教えてくれたんだよ。
俺が？
本当のことを知っておいた方がいいって。ね
Yeah, Dada got a new design too.
ね
Did I really tell them? Did I tell them something so important?
じゃあ、もしかしてルカ子も？
ごめんなさい。僕聞くつもりはなかったんですけど、耳に入ってしまって。
Ah, I see. Lukako lowered his head in apology.
あ、でも大丈夫です。他の人には言ってませんし、それに。
Okay, that's good.
僕ちょっとだけ嬉しかったんです。皆さんと秘密を共有できて。
Understandable, I guess.
本当は直接教えてもらえればよかったんですけど。
Ah, well. Even Lukako knew about Mayuri and Kagari. Which meant that, of course.
でも驚きました。タイムマシンとか未来とかお話の世界のものだって思ってたんですけど、実現できるなんて。
He knew about the time machine. Evidently, I hadn't simply come straight back from the Alpha world line. I was in a world line slightly different from the one I'd been in before. The divergence meter I'd used before was gone now. That meant I didn't have a precise number, but this all felt very different. The problem was finding out what was the same as the old world line and what was different.
かがり、もう少し質問させてほしい。
何？
I showered Kagari with questions in an effort to find out what was going on. Here's what I learned. First, Kagari retained her memories of her childhood, in other words, of the year 2036. She knew Mayuri, Daru, Suzuha, and also Ferris and Lukako. But as for what the world of 2036 was like, and how she'd become Mayuri's daughter, she hadn't told them the details about that. Fortunately, they hadn't seemed interested in knowing about their futures. Everyone always thinks they'd want to know what their future holds. But when the chance finally comes, fear outweighs your curiosity. Yeah, it's true. It's kind of like the whole, like, hey, if someone could tell you the day that you're gonna die, like, would you do it? It's like, the answer is no! No! Why would I want that? Why would I fucking want that? All it's gonna do is make me more nervous. Don't do that. It's the same with, like, knowing your future. Like, yeah, sure, you might get to learn that, hey, in the future, you're, like, you're living in a fancy house and you get to do nothing but shitpost all day. But then you could also hear, yeah, so you die at the age of, like, 28. If you knew you could change your fate. Hi, Val! Welcome to the stream! Exactly. Like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. If my future self is hearing this and we're in a time where time travel exists, don't come back and tell me shit! Don't come back and tell me shit! The future wasn't always a happy thing. Exactly! Knowing the future might destroy your dreams. It might be a death sentence like it was for me. Some people would lose all sense of meaning in their lives if they knew there was inevitably going to be a war in which 5 billion people died.
それじゃあここに来たのはルカ子の家に居候したのがきっかけで間違いないな。
うん。っていうか、オカリンさんがママと引き合わせてくれたんだよ。覚えてないの？
いや、そういうわけじゃないんだが、一応確かめておこうと思ってな。
一応ね。変なオカリンさん。
Kagari going missing had happened almost exactly as I remembered it. The same was true of how she came to us. And
行方不明になっていた間はどこで何をしていたのか全然覚えていないのか。
うん、綺麗さっぱり。気づいたらお寺で寝かされてた。
Huh. She was still missing some of her memories, too. In other words, in this world line, the only memories she had were of her childhood and of the last few weeks since she'd woken up in the Chiba Mountains. The most important part was still missing. What about lotto numbers? Okay, yeah, you know what? I would like to know the lotto numbers. Look, I don't want to know about my future. The lotto numbers are not technically my future. Was there anything else I needed to ask? I was staring at the floor trying to think when I realized that something was missing.
床が綺麗だ。
Oh?
あ、
What's
さ
up
っ
with that?
き岡部さんが来る前に掃除しておきました。
いや、そうじゃなくて、床に小さな穴が開いてたはずなんだが。
床に穴
Huh?
ですか？
Do you think when we create time travel, they'll have laws against getting lotto numbers? I feel like it would mess up the economy. I mean, the thing is that, like... Isn't a good chunk of, like, winning the lottery just taken by taxes? Like... Honestly, I feel like... I mean, yes, it would fuck up the economy, but... Also, there has to be, like... someone who wins the jackpot each time. I don't know how lotteries work. I'll preface this by saying that because I don't know how the fuck the lottery works. Since every time I play it, I'm like, I'm wasting my money. Having steak, baked potatoes, green beans, and a crescent roll for dinner. Hell yeah. Think it depends on your tax bracket and how much you win? That would make sense, I guess. You should do the lottery and win. I will not win, Val. I've told you about my bad luck with the Pokemon TCG. Like, I don't trust myself to win the lottery. All right, oh, okay. The lab had been attacked just last night. Okay, I did not see that in my rewatch. During the attack, one of their bullets had left a dark hole in the floor.
穴なんて開いてたかな？なかったと思うけど。
ちなみに、お前たち昨日は
I know someone who won and spent it all on horses?
どうだった？
Awesome.
昨日のパーティーのこと、すっごく楽しかったよ。あんなに楽しかったの、私初めてだった。
They wouldn't say that if there had been an attack. Which meant that the attack had never taken place. Was no one after Kagari in this world? No, it was too early to assume that. I still didn't know what had happened when she'd gone missing. Until I did, I couldn't say for sure if she was safe. Just like how sometimes Mayuri's death would occur on different days in the Alpha World line, the same thing might happen a few days later. In fact, it would be better to be cautious.
またみんなでパーティーしたいね。その時は僕も何か作るよ。私も手伝う。
They all started happily talking about last night's party. Now, if you win the lottery, you can maybe make a small down payment on a house. Back in the day, you would have been set for life. Yeah. Oh, we live in a world. At first glance, it was a peaceful scene. Something sinister might be happening, and I just didn't know it. Yeah, that does seem to be a trend with these stories. No, I knew something had to be happening. The fact that the world line was changing was proof. Why had it changed anyway? I thought back to the events of that night. First, someone had taken over Amadius. Kurisu had called me and asked for help. The world line had changed right after I'd answered. Which meant that the key was... Amadius? Did Amadius have something to do with the world line change? And what about the group who'd attacked Kagari? Was it all connected? Maybe I needed to find out.
ところで、かがりちゃん、時間大丈夫？あ、いっけない。休憩時間終わってた。店長に怒られちゃう。
Huh? Did you take Suzuha's place?
店長ということは バイトしてるのか？
そうだよ。下のブラウン管工房で。
She took
この
Suzuha's
前言っ
place.
たじゃん。
そうだったか。
In the old world line, Kagari had started working for Tenyoji after the. Okay, never mind. What's wild is that it's been so long now that I am missing threads of the story, so I no longer know when to use the emojis. I wonder if anything bad is happening. It definitely is. That was another difference.
もう、今日のオカリンさんはボケボケだね。しっかりしてよ。
すまない。
Kagari hopped up and skipped out of the room. Her words and mannerisms were much more childish than they'd been in the last world
ア
line.
ルバイト、頑張ってね。はーい。それじゃ、行ってきまーす。
かがり、戻る前にもう一つだけ聞かせてくれ。
I asked one final question to Kagari, who was now giving a crisp salute.
アマデウスという言葉を聞いて何か思い当たることはないか？
アマテウス？
Kagari seemed to think for a moment.
ね。ごめん、わかんないや。
そうか。
All right. She didn't look like she was lying or being sarcastic. She must really not have known. I don't like that emoji life! I watched her leave the lab, then took out my phone. There was another thing I needed to check. What was happening with Amadeus? Oh, I forget all of the controls. So escape, no. Tab. Tab is the one. Oh, okay, I can't do that either. Looked for the icon on my screen. Amadeus. The AI that held Kurisu Makusa's personality and memories. And the application which started the program. But the program was gone.
悪かったな。こんなところに呼び出して。
別に構わないわ。ちょうど近くまで来てたから。
After seeing the icon missing on my phone, I'd contacted Maho immediately. My goal, of course, was to see what was going on with Amadeus in this world. I had to find out.
で、話って？
アマデウスのことだ。
Maho's eyes suddenly went wide. Her reaction surprised me as well. I'd simply said the word Amadeus.
あなた、どうして知ってるの？
どうしてって。どういうことだ？
どうしてあなたがアマデウスのことを知ってるのよ？だって、あのプロジェクトは去年の夏、クリスの事件があったあの後に凍結されたのよ。
Oh, okay.
凍結された？アマデウスが？凍結ってことはつまりプロジェクト自体打ち切られたってことか？
はっきり言ってしまえばそういうことね。
She clenched her fists in anger. It seemed the change in this world line was a big one.
で、さっきの質問。どうしてあなたがアマデウスのことを知ってるの？
それは。
Should I tell her about the world lines and attractor field theory?
クリスから聞いたんだよ。大学の先輩がそういう研究をしてるって。
クリスが？あの子、あなたにそんな話までしていたのね。
I think there's a movie called Amadeus and Valor Mom hates it. I decided that it wasn't the time to tell her. If I tried to explain everything, I'd have to tell her about D-Mail and the time machine. Maho didn't seem to know about all that yet. I could imagine what she'd do if she heard the truth. She was yet another of those people who were entranced by the possibilities of science.
なあ、アマデウスが凍結されたっていう話、もう少し詳しく教えてくれないか？理由は何だったんだ？
なんでも外部団体からクレームが入ったんですって。 人の記憶を人工知能に持たせるのは人間の複製を作り出すのと同じこと。神のみに許される所業だって。
This character reminds me of the villain from Black Rock Shooter. I've never seen that anime. I want to watch it, but I've heard some people say that it kind of sucks. And I have so many anime that I want to watch where people are just like, yeah, this is the best thing to ever exist. So I haven't gotten around to it yet.
欧米って自分たちの価値観で物を言う人が多いのよね。特にそういうデリケートな部分は。
What is it with the games that I'm playing? Just referencing America and Europe and like real life politics, please. Please. I'm trying to stay away from that. I literally stopped going on Twitter because it was becoming more and more about that. Oh, I didn't know you were streaming. Lucky I caught it. Hi, KP. Welcome to the stream.
理由はそれだけなのか。
It is true, but like
少なくと
still.
も私はそう聞いてるわ。いきなり研究は中止だって言われて、教授たちも随分怒ってた。
I am on Blue Sky, actually. If you go into the description, there is a link to it. Okabe, there's something I want you to tell me. Huh, alright. What does it mean, shouldn't you ask your dad? I'm just gonna... This is the nicest one. Yes, I think you can give me good advice. Alright, what advice do you need? The Amadeus program was stopped. Oh, I don't want you expecting too much. Oh, okay, so I have to click. Alright. What kind of gift do you think a father would enjoy? Your father, huh? I think the darkness within him goes very deep. I do have some banger Blue Sky posts. I've been posting about the Pokemon TCG, because I've been playing that a lot. I had the thought today as I was getting my ass kicked, that this game is my League of Legends. It's a game that just makes me really angry, but I keep playing it anyways. Because I don't have any good cards. My pulls have been absolutely dog shit. I think I have, like, 3 different EX cards. One of them is Venusaur, which is cool, but I have, like, barely any good grass types. And then I have, like, 3 Marowak EXs and 2 Gengar EXs. Dog shit pulls and gotcha, name a better duo. That's a good joke, Souls. Okay, just a sec. Vesta, you gotta move your bum. Come on. Come on, Vesta, move your bum. There you go. Huh? The darkness? Oh, You chunied yourself into a corner there, bud. You know, darkness, a black handkerchief. Maybe that would be a good idea. Maybe, yeah. A handkerchief. Great, I'll do that, but why black? I think your dad probably likes black. For real. What is this? Thank you. Thank you, Okabe. Okay, cool. One day we'll get an IRL stream of Novella going to a Pokemon TCG tournament. Nah, man, I'm saving all my money for Lolita fashion and video games. Sorry. Watch Steins Gate Zero anime yet? Or are you going to wait until after this game? I'll be honest, I have such a hard time, like, just sitting down to watch things. I don't know if I'll ever get around to watching the Steins Gate anime because in my head I'm like, well, I already know the story. Like, I've already seen it, I've already played it. So whenever I do go to end up watching anime, it tends to be just something where it's like, okay, I don't know anything about this, except that people go fucking nuts over this online. Alright, the Amadeus program was stopped. Did that have something to do with the world line change too? Wait. So how did I meet Maho? We'd originally met at the Amadeus seminar. If that never happened.
どうしたの？
いや、その思い出してたんだ。君と出会った時のことを。あ
の時のこと。 ああいう偶然ってあるのね。
I asked a few more questions, taking note not to rouse her suspicions, and managed to learn the basic story. Don Don is a good anime. I think I've seen fan art of that online. I also know nothing about it. I really should be watching more anime right now, because I have the time to do it, and I'm just not. Maho had really wanted to see the place where Kurisu had died. When she finally went to the radio building, she'd run into me.
オカルト的な考え方って大っ嫌いだけど、でもあなたと出会えたのはクリスが繋いでくれた縁なのかもしれないわね。
Karma, or perhaps another example of attractor field convergence. It had already been decided that Maho and I would meet here in Akihabara. But was there some meaning in that?
そうそう。まゆりさんたちによろしく伝えておいてくれるかしら。昨日は楽しかったって。
ああ。
Vesta has the zoomies. Evidently, she'd gone to last night's party in this world line
お
too.
かげで日本でのいい思い出ができたわ。
思い出って帰るのか？
すぐにじゃないけどね。言ったでしょ？私今クリスがやっていた研究を引き継いでるの。いつまでも日本でバカンス気分を堪能してるわけにもいかないのよ。
そうか。
But still, she was only in Japan for another 10 days. I hope nothing would happen during that time. Cut to something happening. Amadeus had been shut down and no longer existed. No longer would I hear Kurisu's voice. After I said goodbye to Maho, what that meant really started to sink in. I could still feel Kurisu's warmth in my chest. Her smell. All the feelings I'd tried to forget were coming back now that I'd seen her. No one will ever be happy in that world line. Everyone will be miserable. That's what she had said. Papa is currently still sleeping on my new blanket. I've checked multiple times to see if he's okay. He just likes this blanket, I guess. It's always nice when cats just find something that they really, really love. Like, I know that I have a little mouse toy for Vesta that she fucking adores. It's the only toy that I've ever seen her, like, carry around. And it's, like, not that frequent, but... Okay. I heard something fall over in the other room. Just a cardboard box, but still. But yeah, it's adorable when they're just like, yeah, this is mine now. This thing that you have, it's mine. It's mine now. Vesta does that with my petticoat too. She loves sleeping on my Lolita petticoats. If I leave one out, she will take a nap on it. He only leaves this blanket to eat and go to the washroom. It's been 4 days. Oh man. Like, maybe you should get him checked up just in case. Like, is he normally a lot more active than this, is the question, I guess. It's like, I know that vets are expensive, though, so I don't want to say just like, oh, take him to a vet just in case, because, like, one time in 2020, I had to bring Vesta to the vets because I thought that she had broken one of her paws. Turns out, she just kind of twisted her little ankle a bit. It was $900. So it's like, I know that that's not always the most, like, feasible thing in the world. He had the zoomies last night, but whatever, he's chilling, he's on the blanket. Okay, fair enough. Just as long as he doesn't seem, like, sick or anything. I knew that. That's why I decided to stay here. But that didn't mean I could erase the sense of loss I felt. I went back to the lab to get all this together in my head. The cause of the attack in the last world line was Kagari, and there was a good chance that Amadeus was involved in the world line change that took place afterwards. Seems fine, he's just a little obsessed. Fair enough. But in this world line, the lab had never been attacked. And the Amadeus project had been cancelled while it was still in the research stage. That meant that two major factors in the events that had occurred so far no longer existed. If they were gone, maybe there was no need to worry too much. But even so, there was still a tiny alarm going off in the back of my mind. Why had Amadeus been shut down? What happened to Kagere's missing memories? If nothing else, I might need to learn the answers to those two questions. I thought for a while, then took out my phone and booted up the Rhine application. Yeah, I can do that for you. Oh, is that not what I'm supposed to do? Okay. Oh, alright. New perspective. Kagari Shina felt happier and more fulfilled than the people around her thought she was. Nice little room here. Her memories were missing. All she had now were memories of when she was young. She'd gone to the past when she was 10 and then gotten separated from Suzuha. Her memories afterwards were a total blank, with the exception of the last few weeks. Her oldest memories after her childhood were of the ceiling she saw when she woke up. It was the ceiling of an old temple with stains here and there that looked like faces. She remembered being a little scared. Shortly after that, she was given to Yanabayashi Shrine. Given to?
かがりさん、お茶飲みますか？あ、うん。ありがとう、ルカ君。じゃあ、入れますね。
It is really nice to see different characters' perspectives. Like, if I remember correctly, this didn't happen in the first game. So it's neat to kind of get more insight on the rest of the cast outside of Okabe's perspective. That was when she'd met Luka Urushibata. At the time, she hadn't realized that she already knew him. Luka Urushibata was a good friend of her adopted mother, Mayuri Shina. He'd played with her a lot when they were kids. When she was younger, she'd always thought he was a woman. To Kagere's young eyes, he'd been a strong, grown-up woman. At the time, she'd always wondered why Suzuha had called him Big Brother Luka.
はい、どうぞ。ありがとう。
But the Luka in front of her now was far younger than the one she had known. He looked like a very pretty girl, and not nearly as strong. So she'd only realized that he was the Luka Urushibata she knew after meeting her mother.
ん？この紅茶、なんだか変わった味がする。ローズマリーティー。集中力や記憶力が上がるって聞いて、フェイリスさんに分けてもらったんです。
Huh. I need some of that. My memory is dog shit. Improving your memory and finding lost memories seemed like totally different things to her, but she didn't say so. Just the thought made her very happy. Luka, Mama Mayuri, and the rest of Okabe's friends were all trying to help her get her memories back. It would probably make most people nervous not having their memories. It would be hard not knowing what you'd experienced. But, to be honest, Kagere didn't think she needed to remember. Sometimes it seemed like a memory was about to come back. Each time, her mind would roar with a sense of fear and anxiety.
もしかして、美味しくなかったですか？
Luka saw that she'd only taken a sip and stopped, and he seemed worried.
ううん、そんなことない。美味しいよ。ただ、ちょっと考え事をしてただけ。考え事？そう、でも大したことないんだ。
She took a sip of the tea, hoping to change the subject.
それにしても、ルカ君って本当に男の子？
Everyone else said he was, but still, it just didn't seem right to her. It's a bit of an awkward question to ask somebody, though.
ですけど。やっぱりどう見ても女の子にしか見えないよね。
I think he's aware, Kagari. I think he's probably had this commented on his whole life.
そんなこと言われても。
Understandable, understandable.
そうだ。ねえ、明日一緒にお風呂入ってみる？
How did you get from point A to point B here?
そうすれば ルカ君が本当に男の子なのかどうかわかるでしょ。
Okay. Come on.
ダメですよ、そんなの。どうして？だってそんなの、だって女の人と一緒にお風呂なんてそんな。
Understandable.
お
Understandable.
姉さんとは一緒に入ってなかったの？
We need an okabe emoji for Kagari.
入ってましたけど、それは小さい頃の話で。
Yeah, it's like that's something that you stop doing by the time you're like, what, like 5, 6 years old? Like once you get to that point, it's like, nah, you're not bathing with your younger siblings anymore. That's just weird. I think it was like 6 or 7 whenever I stopped. I'm not sure.
かがりさん。ごめんごめん、冗談だよ冗談。ルカ君が可愛いからついからかっちゃった。そんな。でもそういう反応を見せるってことはやっぱり男の子なんだね。最初からそうだって言ってるじゃないですか。
I just take his word for it. Come on. Even when he was upset, he still looked like a girl, she thought.
ご覧のようにこちらのお店では数十種類にも及ぶ食べ物が全部食べ放題なんです。
Oh. All you can eat are some of the best 4 words to put together. The TV screen had been showing all kinds of delicious food.
すごいな。
There's actually like a new all-you-can-eat Chinese place that opened up in my town, and I really want to go, but it's like, it's all the way across the city. Tried apple turnover. Oh, I did go to Canada over the summer. Niagara Falls. Hell yeah, Niagara Falls is beautiful. I haven't been there myself, but I should go at some point. The sight of it almost moved her to tears.
今の時代ってすごいよね。私の知ってる未来とは大違い。そうなんですか？
Oh yeah, because
未来の
don't
世
they
界
have
って
lights like behind
ど
the
んな感
falls?
じなんです？
I think I saw that somewhere. Really, really cool.
知りたい？
I don't think Luca wants to know. I don't think Luca wants to know. Luca looked a little uncertain. Please say no. And even though she'd asked, Kagari wasn't certain she should tell him. The future, she knew, was filled with despair. Everyone struggled desperately to stay alive, hoping that tomorrow would somehow be better. If they knew there was no hope, how would they survive?
やっぱりやめておきます。
Fair! Good! Good! Right answer! Correct answer! Kagari sighed in relief.
その方がいいよ。だって未来は変えられるものだから。
There's a 4D movie theater there, and I saw a Shrek experience, and Donkey sneezed on us and it sprayed us with water. Okay, so what I'm hearing is that this was a 10 out of 10 experience. It was a 10 out of 10 trip. I was literally about to ask, like, I wanted to visit Niagara Falls, but it's like, what do you do there? I don't know anything about, like, the area surrounding Niagara Falls outside of the fact that Niagara Falls is there. And I think Marineland is there, but, like, Marineland is just depressing.
未来は変えられる？うん。ママがね、そう言ってた。きっと変えられる。変えてくれるって。
There's a haunted house there with a roller coaster. Okay. Like, do you mean at Marineland? Because, like, I watched a whole video about how Marineland's, like, gone really downhill and, like, barely any of the rides are open. It has, like, a very tiny Vegas strip. Oh, interesting. There's Ripley's Believe It or Not. Okay, so it sounds like there's more to do than just see the waterfalls. Okay, just in Niagara Falls in general. Okay, cool. Because I was about to say, like, I'm not going to fucking Marineland.
変えてくれる。
That's what Mayuri had always told Kagari. That was her tiny light of hope.
なんだっけな。シュタインなんとかって。
Oh man.
シュタインズゲートですか？そう、それは必ずあるってママは言ってた。
What do you mean there's a roller coaster in the Burger King? They have those? Steins Gate mention. Do I have... Oh, I should still have this. Okay, we can save while we have the time. Okay, let's close the menu. There we go. I need to remember all the hotkeys. It's like Vegas, but for kids? Oh, man. You know, as much as I was saying, like, a time travel, not the best idea, I would love to go back in time and tell my kid self, hey, okay, listen to me right now. I am whispering right in your ear. You need to convince your parents to go to Niagara Falls and go to the Burger King that's like Vegas for kids. You need to start your gambling addiction right now. We need to start it while we're young so that this way we can accumulate so many gambling winnings. Gamble away all your money, little Novella. I believe in you.
って言いながら、それが何なのか私もよくわからないんだけど。
House of Wax. There's a wax museum in Niagara Falls? I didn't know we had those in Canada, to be honest. Steins Gate. To be honest, Kagari didn't know exactly what that meant. But each time Mayuri said it, Kagari had felt warmth in her heart. Someone would come to lead them to Steins Gate. When she thought about that, it gave her hope.
さて、それでは次の特集です。今、世界で記憶の再生技術に関する研究が進められているのはご存知でしょうか？今日はその最先端を走るあるアメリカの大学の特集です。
Oh, right, they're making a new version of the Steins Gate anime, right? That's awesome. The news show had finished its food report and had already switched to another topic. Now it was showing a college campus covered in greenery. It was a wide open space that clearly wasn't Japanese. The second she saw it, she suddenly felt dizzy. No, I think it's a Vienne. Oh, really?
一見普通のキャンパスに見えるこの大学。
Oh, right! Victor Condré University, wasn't that where Kurisu was from? Like, that's where she'd
こ
studied.
の学内では今、ある大きなプロジェクトが進められています。
The discussion became more technical. It was far beyond what Kagari, who had only her memories as a child, could understand. But
チャンネル変えましょうか。あ、待って。
Kagari stopped him before he could get to the remote.
かがりさん、わかるんですか？うん。脳の構造、記憶を捏造することはできるかっていう話。
I mean, yeah, that is definitely something you can do. I remember when I was little, we went to Niagara Falls and my parents refused to spend any extra money. They took me through Ripley's, believe it or not, thinking you could do a free wax handcraft at the end, but you actually had to pay. I was terrified through the whole museum. My only sliver of hope was the wax handcraft. When they learned we had to pay, they refused to and we left. No! That's the worst.
へえ、すごいですね。僕には難しくて、何が何だか。
Played Robotics Notes and Robotics Notes Dash and also Anonymous Code. I saw Anonymous Code at a GameStop the other day and I was like, why do I recognize this? Where is this from? And then, like, I looked at the back and I'm like, yes, this is by the Steins Gate people, cool. Maybe someday I'll play those games. Not gonna guarantee it, But, especially because I have a lot of other games I want to play. Like, I am creating a list of all the RPG Maker games that I want to play through on the channel. Because there are a bunch of them. And to be honest, back in high school and college, I had considered making a YouTube channel to do Let's Plays of RPG Maker games. Because I really enjoyed watching those, and there weren't a whole lot of them on the internet anymore at that time. Like, the big boom for RPG Maker was like, I want to say 2013, 2014? And then after that, it kind of died off, so I'm like, okay, well, here's a little niche that I could go into. But, then I never got around to it, but now that I'm streaming, I really want to play more RPG Maker. I have Angels of Death already. I know I tried to play through Pocket Mirror whenever I was in high school. Never finished that game. I think I wasn't even like a third of the way through it. I got stuck on like one of the puzzles and I was too stubborn to look at a guide. And I was like, I'll figure it out later. I'll just figure this out some other time. And then I never did. So, I'm pretty much unspoiled for the entirety of that game. Same with Dreaming Mary, that's a big one that came out around the time that I was in high school. I never played it, never watched a Let's Play of it. I do also want to check out, I have heard that there is a project that basically turns Yume Nikki and a bunch of, like, the fan games into an online project. I want to check that out on stream, so this way we can all kind of, like, join up, because it's completely free, as far as I'm aware. It is a completely free MMO version of Yume Nikki and a bunch of Yume Nikki fan games. So, at some point, we could do a stream where I hop into this Yume Nikki online, and then you guys can also hop in with me, and we can kind of explore dream worlds together. I think that would be a really cool idea. I mean, it'd be even cooler if I could also get, like, some other VTuber buddies to hop on with me, but I mean, this is something for me to figure out later. I have a bunch of things that I want to do in terms of collabs that I just have never gotten around to and have not even mentioned. It would be so fun! I gotta check it out a bit more, though, just to make sure, like, that it would be interesting for everyone. Because in hindsight, now that I think about it, it might not make the best collab, unless it's sort of like, oh, we're all splitting off in different directions and finding things. But either way, let's continue with the game instead of talking about other games I want to play. I've still got to finish this one. She suddenly found herself easily understanding what was being said. Why? How? How could she understand this?
そう、そんなに難しい話じゃないよ。記憶は脳の中の海馬っていうところが司ってるんだけど、その中に視上界って呼ばれるところがあるのね。
Huh. Here, let's. How do I bring up the menu? Is it space? Control? Shift? Alt? How do I do it?
そこで行われ。
There we go. She was surprised at what she was saying, but the words kept coming anyways.
神経細胞の生産が既存の神経回路の再編を引き起こすの。それによって。
Oh yeah, let me just hit Alt F4 right now, Val. Yeah, it's been a hot minute. Is it F1? It is not. Okay, backspace is back. Is it F3? Oh no. I should stop just touching buttons. I'll figure things out later. But, I think I did actually speculate before that, like, Kagari is, like, Kurisu's reincarnation in some aspects. But that feels like... I don't know. Like, yes, this is sci-fi, but that feels a little too fantasy for Steins Gate. Oh yeah, Game Awards are happening soon. I really want to be able to watch them this year. I cannot guarantee it because I am about to start a new job. But, or I might be starting a new job, who fucking knows? I've been sending out so many resumes and cover letters, and now I'm working. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Anyways. She suddenly realized that Luca was looking confused.
だってなんだか詳しそうな口ぶりでしたし。
The TV was showing something. Something that looked like a lab. The camera went towards the back of the room. A white door was open that led to the next room.
この部屋で行われたマウスを使った実験。それによって研究チームは。
知らない。でも今。
That's right. She wasn't familiar with it. She didn't know anything about any place like this, but
わからない。知らない。けど、なんでだろう。さっきは知ってるような気がしたの。
There was suddenly a piercing pain in the back of her head. It felt like the beginning of something terrifying. She suddenly felt very nervous. All right, back to Okabe!
いいか、おめえの頼みを聞いてやるわけじゃねえ。それだけは忘れるんじゃねえぞ。
感謝します。
This morning I'd gone to Tenyoji and asked him to protect Kagari if something happened. That meant I had to talk to him about his role as a rounder again. And I had to tell him that Kagari was caught up in something big too. But since this was the second time I had that conversation, I was able to make it go a little smoother. That was only relative to the first time, though. I never wanted to ask him for anything like this ever again.
おい、岡部。おめえら一体何に関わってやがる？
それは。
I stopped myself.
話せねえってか。頼み事するだけして随分と虫のいい話だな。
すみません。
だがそれでいい。情報ってのは最後の切り札だ。そこでペラペラ喋っちまうようなら俺は降りてたぜ。
Fair enough, fair enough.
ま、せいぜい気をつけるんだな。
ありがとうございます。
わかったから、そうやってかしこまんな。どうにもやりにくくてしょうがねえ。
I bowed to him once more anyways and left the Brown workshop. I managed to get Tenyoji's help. Hey, and this morning I'd gotten another person on my side as well. Moeka Kiryu. Is that a good idea? Is that actually a good idea? She was a lot easier than Tenyoji. I checked with Daru last night and found that just like in the old world line, we'd hired her to find out more about Kagari. All I had to do was ask her to keep looking into what Kagari had been doing before she'd come to this town. Now I'd done everything I could in case something happened. All that was left was to pray that nothing did. I got back to the lab where Lukako was waiting. He had a very serious look on his face and said he needed to talk to me.
実はかがりさんの記憶のことで気になることがあって。
かがりの？
とは言っても、これが記憶を取り戻すことにつながるかどうかはわからないんですけど。
構わない。気になることがあるなら話してくれ。
はい。
Luca started to fidget and rub his knees together. Then he looked up at me and slowly opened his mouth.
ゆうべテレビで記憶の研究についての特集をやっていて、アメリカの大学で行われているものだったんですけど、それを見ていたかがりさんがまるで その学校を知っているような口ぶりだったんです。
アメリカの大学？どこの大学だ？
なんだか難しい名前の学校で、確かビクトル・コンドル？
ビクトル・コンドリア大学か？
あ、そうです。その学校です。
Ooh. Victor Condria University. That was where Kurisu had studied. Kagari knew Victor Condria? If that was true, then how? The most obvious possibility was that she went there too. But how would a kid who went missing in Japan go to an American school? And one of the best at that? Of course, it wasn't possible, but...
どうでしょう。何か手がかりになりそうでしょうか。
さすがにそれだけじゃ何とも言えないが。
そうですか。
Lukako's shoulders slumped in disappointment.
でも手がかりにならないというわけじゃない。
それじゃあ。
ああ、確かめてみる必要はあるな。
改まってお話って何かな？
Not anything going on in here? Nope. Okay. The best way to find out was to talk to her directly. Kagari was just about to start work, and she seemed put off by the fact that I'd suddenly asked to speak with her.
話はちょっと待ってくれるか？もう一人呼んであるんだ。
もう一人？
I didn't know a lot about Victor Condria myself. I could ask Kagari what she knew about the school, but I couldn't tell if her information was accurate or not. There was a better person she could ask. Someone who should be here any minute. It's Maho! There she is! The best way to find out about the school was to ask someone who actually went there. In fact, Maho was to this day a part of their brain science lab. Yeah, so she would even know about the report that went on last night.
こんにちは。
That must be the project that she's working on now because Amadeus doesn't exist in this timeline.
はい、元気？
Maho still didn't know that Kagari was from the future. I'd have to keep her from finding out.
それにしても本当にクリスに似てるわよね。
She sure fucking does! Maho stared at Kagari, then whispered so that only I could hear. It made sense. I'd been surprised myself. I started by explaining to Maho why I brought her here.
じゃあ何？つまり彼女がうちの学校にいたかもしれないっていうの？ちょっと待って、そんなこと言われても私、そのなんとかトルコドリア大学なんて知らないよ。ビクトル・コンドリア大学。ほらね、名前だってちゃんと覚えてないんだもん。
でも昨日は知っている様子だったんだろ、ルカ子。
はい、奥にある部屋でネズミさんを使った実験を行っているって。そしたらその後本当にその部屋での実験の様子が映って。
カガリはそのことは？
覚えてない。
I couldn't imagine Lukaku would lie, or that there would be any point in him doing so. But the same was true for Kagari too.
漆原さん、その研究室どこだったかわかる？詳しくはわからないんですけど、脳とか記憶とかそんな研究をしているって言ってました。ということは、もしかすると脳科学研究所かもしれないわね。
The brain science lab. That was where,
私が所属しているところよ。
and also where Kurisu worked too.
それじゃあもしかしたらカガリはヒアジョーさんやクリスと会っていたかもしれないということか。
あくまでも家庭の話よ。脳科学を研究しているところは一つじゃないし、私のいるところだって陰性だけじゃなく一般の研究者もたくさん出入りしてるもの。私だって研究所にいる人間全員と顔を合わせたわけじゃないわ。ただ同じ日本人となると見かければ記憶には残っているでしょうね。
Which meant she didn't remember it, which meant she probably hadn't met her.
ルカ子、他にかがりのことで気になったことはないか？
かがりさん、時々びっくりするくらい難しいことを知っていたり。私だって難しいことくらい知ってるもん。
Kagari pouted. That was one expression that was totally different than Kurisu's.
例えばバラとか憂鬱とか。
Those were just words that were complicated to write in Japanese.
昨日はテレビで記憶の捏造について放送していたんですけど、それもなんだか詳しそうでした。記憶の捏造ね。確かにその研究をしているチームもいるわ。私たちも一度話を聞かせてもらいに行ったもの。
かがり、今その話はできるのか？
それがよくわからないの。私本当にそんなことを話してた？話してましたよ。
I'm starting to wonder if this is less like an effect of the time travel the way that was with Suzuha, and more almost like a traumatic response, because that's what it seems to be. It's like the second that she started feeling that terror, it just like completely blocked out her memory of even just re-experiencing it. She put her hand between her eyebrows and thought. She really didn't remember, it seemed.
今までにこういうことはよくあったのか？
最近まではそれほど。この何日かで急に。
I didn't know how Kagari could know things about Victorchondria, but it clearly had something to do with her missing memories. If I followed the trail a little longer, I might learn some clues. It was possible I might be able to bring back her memories. Oh, that's a new sprite. Suddenly, she started to moan in pain.
かがりさん、どうしたんですか？
Chat disconnected. Wait a second. Wait a sec. Is my internet fucking up? Okay, my internet isn't fucking up. It's probably just a YouTube thing. That scared me because I have been having some issues with my internet today. My modem turned off at one point, so I've been a little bit nervous about it happening again whenever I'm on stream.
痛いんですか？
Lukako was looking at her face, worried.
ちょっぴり。
少し横になるか？
大丈夫。
少し話をせかせすぎたかもしれないな。
そうね。負担が大きかったのかもしれないわね。
Maho was looking worried too.
本当に平気？大丈夫です。ありがとう、先輩。だったらいいのだけど。
The conversation was so natural. And Maho and I almost missed it. Yeah, the senpai.
おい、今。
うん。先輩って。
かがり、君今確かに先輩って呼んだよな、ヒアジョーさんのこと。
嘘、私そんなこと。間違いなく言ったわ。漆原さん、あなたも聞いていたわよね。はい。
senpai. The Japanese word used to address an older classmate or colleague. I'd just learned that Maho and Kagari hadn't met at Victor Condria. Did that mean it was just a mistake? The sound of footsteps coming up the stairs distracted me. Oh, God, no! No! They were so heavy, there was no need to wonder who it was. Okay, is it Tenyoji? Oh, it's Daru. Okay, never mind. Everything is fine. All that talk about, the attack could happen the next day, it's like, ugh.
魔法タンも来てったん？
その呼び方はやめて。
足りるかな？ひふみ。
What are you talking about? He ignored Maho's complaint and started to count the number of people in the room. There was some kind of paper bag in his hands.
よかった。大丈夫みたい。
何が大丈夫なんだ？
ほら、この前駅前にできたアトルあるでしょ？あそこに美味しそうなプリン売っててさ、たまにはと思って買ってきたんだけど、人数分あるかなって。
Oh, that's really nice. He put down the bag, opened the box, and started putting the pudding cups on the table. See, one of the things that I remember from my rewatch of the last stream is me straight up saying, like, yeah, when Daru's not a creep, he's actually, like, a really good guy. It just sucks that he's also a creep sometimes.
ダル、後にしろ。
何みんな難しい顔して。僕がこんなん買ってくるの、そんな珍しい？まあ、確かにその通りだけど、ちょうどバイトで結構な臨時収入が入ったんだよね。
Character building, yeah, exactly.
仕事ができる上に気配りと収入を持ち合わせている僕に惚れてもいいの？あれ？
He turned the bag over and started shaking it.
スプーンが一人分足りない。さては店員のお姉さん、入れ忘れたな。
使ってないスプーンなら確か流しのところに。あ、私マイスプーン持ってるから。
Lukako stood up to get a spoon from the sink, then suddenly stopped. He looked at Kagari with a confused expression.
かがりさん、マイスプーンなんて持ってましたっけ？
Oh, right, because that was something Kurisu mentioned.
え？かがりさんが持ってたのって、ウーパのキーホルダーだけだったような。あれ？そうだよね。おかしいな。なんで私持ってるなんて。
Her own spoon. I'd heard someone say that before. You sure did. Not many people carried their own spoons around. It was common in Japan to carry around your own personal set of chopsticks lately, but not spoons. But I knew. I had known someone who carried around her own spoon. It was Kurisu Makise. Just a moment ago, she'd called Maho senpai. Did Kagari know Kurisu after all? My chat keeps disconnecting. What's going on, YouTube?
向こうで君のことを先輩と呼ぶ人間は何人いた？
一人だけよ。先輩とか後輩とか、そういう呼び方とか関係は日本独特のものだから。
There was no need to even ask who it was.
私を先輩と呼んでたのはクリスだけ。
Yep, makes sense. Makes sense.
かがり、君はマキセ・クリスのことを知ってるのか？
クリス、マキセ・クリス。
Did she know her? And was she imitating her? But why would she need to do that?
マキセ・クリス。
Kagari seemed to be desperately searching her memories, but it didn't seem to be working. Don't know why OBS chat randomly disconnects you when your connection is fine. It's been happening to me a lot. Oh, okay. See, I don't even have the chat open in OBS. I have it in a YouTube pop-out. because I can't figure out how to get the chat on OBS. There was a window that was open for the chat before, but whenever I was trying to figure out how to get my first stream with OBS to work, I closed it somehow, and I can't figure out how to reopen it. But I always just use the pop-out chat anyways, so it didn't really bother me too much. There was sweat on her forehead. Her headache might still be bothering her.
無理はしなくていい。急いで思い出す必要は。
このままにしとくのもなんだか気持ち悪い。何か思い出せそうなんですか？わかんないからオカリンさん何か話して。
It's on the docs option at the top. Oh, okay. Sounds good. I'll fix that after the stream just because right now I'd have to like alt tab and mess around with things. But that is good to know. I'm actually gonna write that down so this way I have it open for the next time. OBS. Chat equals docs. Alright, cool.
一体何が何なん?
Don't worry, daughter, we're doing brain science. The fact that Kagari responded this strongly to Kurisu's name meant that there had to be some sort of relationship. Is she Kurisu's daughter? What could there possibly be? The question was this: what had Kagari been doing ever since she separated from Suzuha in 1998? If she never met Maho, did she ever meet Kurisu? Maybe she became friends with Kurisu and learned a lot about her. Then she'd gotten Kurisu's stories mixed up with her own memories? Or I remembered the machine that Kurisu had developed in the Alpha World line and came up with a certain hypothesis. I quickly told myself that it was impossible. My eyes met Maho's. She nodded.
かがり、じゃあいくつか質問させてくれ。
For now, I wanted to learn how much Kagari knew about Kurisu.
君の父親はどこにいる？
パパは死んじゃった。子供の頃に。
If her memories were mixed with Kurisu's, she wouldn't say that. Those were Kagari's memories. She said she remembered everything from before she was 10 years old. She'd only lost her memories after she'd separated from Suzuha in 1998. Wait a second, so if she was 10 in 1998, shouldn't she be like 30 now? Because 10 years old, and then 10 years after that she'd be 20 in 2008. No, she'd be like 23? 24? 24, I think. Because this game takes place in 2012, if I remember correctly. I'd have to go a little deeper.
それじゃあ、栗ご飯と言ったら何を思い浮かべる？
栗ご飯？何なの？
答えてくれ、かがり。
栗ご飯。
2010 to 2011. Oh, okay, fair enough.
カメハメハ。
Everyone else seemed confused, but I felt as if my heart was about to stop. How could she know? Kuri Gohan and Kamehameha was Kurisu's @channel handle. Not only did she keep that a secret, she almost never let anyone know that she posted on @channel. She never would have told anyone. How could Kagari know something that only Kurisu should know? More sweat was pouring down Kagari's forehead. Luca offered her a handkerchief, worried. Kagari nodded and took it.
かがり、タイムトラベルの主な理論がいくつあるか知っているか？
Maho looked like she wanted to say something, but I motioned for her to stay quiet.
11。
She has Kurisu's memories! Kagari spoke clearly as if the answer was the most obvious thing in the world.
全部で11。あれ？違ったかな？
I hadn't expected much when I asked the question. I certainly hadn't expected that. The terrifying possibility I'd thought of earlier was becoming more and more real. It was impossible. It had to be. the more I tried to convince myself, the more my fears grew.
11の理論を具体的に説明できるか？
中性子星理論、それからブラックホール理論に光速理論、多気温理論、ワームホール理論、エキゾチック物質理論。
Kagari was counting with her fingers and speaking with very little hesitation.
ひも理論、量子重力理論、セシウムレーザー光理論、素粒子リングレーザー理論、最後にディラック反粒子理論。全部合ってる。
Maho's voice was hoarse.
ねえ、岡部さん、私どうしてそんなこと知ってるんだろう。
Kagari looked like she was about to cry a little.
もう一つ聞くが、それらの理論を用いてタイムマシンは作れると思うか？
So, my current theory, which may be super outlandish, but like, hear me out. So, in a lot of the bad timelines that we heard of before, excuse me, in a lot of the bad timelines we've heard of before, doesn't Kurisu usually end up getting, like, kidnapped? I mean, the whole gang ends up getting kidnapped, but, like, what if during the kidnapping, Kurisu ended up dying, and Kagari was kind of like CERN's attempt to recreate her, like, clone her, and give her all of Kurisu's memories, and maybe that's why Amadeus was taken over. Because they're trying to create a new Kurisu because they fucked up and she died. And they need her to help them build the time machine that they need to take over the world. That's my, like, off-the-wall huffing glue theory. We'll see if it has any merit to it, but considering that, like, cloning hasn't really come up before outside of, you know, the whole, like, oh, making a copy of the person is against God type of thing, but even then it's like, that could also just be like, hey, that's just why the project got shut down in this timeline.
できないと思う。でもこの11の理論では作れないけど、今後の科学の発展次第では
This game takes place winter 2010 to 2011? Fair enough.
じゃないかな。
どうしてそう思う？
どうして？それはどうしてだろう。
じゃあ質問を変えよう。その考え方に行き着いたのはなぜだ？
わかんないけど、ただなんとなく知ってたような。
Alright then. She knew, huh? That meant the knowledge existed inside of her. But why did she have that knowledge? Had she been to Victor Condry at some point in the past and met Kurisu there? Maybe they were close friends? So close that Kurisu would share her @channel nickname, which she never told anyone? And then perhaps she mistook what she'd heard from Kurisu for her own memories. That was the most obvious possibility. Which means it's not the right one. But that would go against what Kurisu had said. Kurisu said she didn't really have any close friends in America. She seemed to have developed a solid relationship with Maho at work, but dark fear in my mind kept growing.
なあ、ヒアジョーさん。アマデウスは凍結されたと言っていたが、アップロードされていたクリスの記憶データってまだ存在するのか？
Ooh!
ええ、多分破棄はされていないはずだけど。
それってどれだけの人間がアクセスできたんだ？
ごく限られた人間だけよ。どこにも公表はしていなかったから。
I thought Okabe was saying, oh, let's get Kagari to talk to Kurisu, and maybe it would spark her memories. I guess this is also a good a good question to ask
私やレ
though.
スキネン教授、他に助手が何人か、そしてクリス。
ちなみにその記憶データを人間の脳に移植することって可能だったりするよな。
Oh!
は？
In the other world line, Maho herself, or Dr. Leskinen to be precise, had said something about that at the ATF seminar. And I had experienced it myself. Through a machine that digitized human memories, sent them through time, then back to the same person's brain. It didn't exist in this world line, but I'd once lived in a world line where it was developed in this very room. I'd used it far more times than I had ever wanted to. And because of that experience, I came up with an idea. A terrifying idea. Another way to explain what was happening to Kagari now.
一体何を？
マイスプーンを持ち歩いていたのはクリスなんだ。大学でヒアジョーさんのことを先輩って呼んでいたのもクリスだけだ。栗ご飯とカメハメハはクリスがアットチャンネルで使っていたコテハンだ。知っているのは本人以外だと俺くらいのはずだ。クリスならビクトル・コンドリア大学の研究室のことも知ってる。マウス実験のことも知ってる。11のタイムマシン理論についても知ってる。
オカリンさん、どういうこと？何が言いたいの？
俺の思いついた仮説だ。
This is my theory. My game theory. I looked around the room at everyone, then back at Kagari.
カガリ、もしかしたら君の頭の中にはマキセ・クリスの記憶が移植されているかもしれない。
Damn.
カガリの頭の中にマキセ・クリスの記憶が入ってる。
Suzuha didn't seem as surprised as I had expected. Maho and I asked her some more questions after that. About Victorchondria. About her research. Her answers were all over the place. Some things she knew and some things she didn't. But some of the things she knew were things that only Maho and Kurisuke would have known. In the end, instead of being overturned, my hypothesis came out even stronger. All the questions seemed to tire Kagari out, and with Tenyoji's permission, Lukako took her home. Maho completely refused to accept what I was saying, but did say before she left that she'd look into whether it was possible to transfer Amadeus's memory data into a human brain. And that night, I explained the situation to Suzuha.
それってカガリが二重人格ってこと？
いや、そうじゃない。二重人
Yeah, this
格って
doesn't
いう
seem
の
like that.
は正確には乖離性同一性障害といって誰かの中に別の人格ができることだ。
You know? That's good. I feel like it's the bare minimum for people to call it by its proper name, but there are so many games that don't. There are so many games and stories that just don't refer to it by even the right proper name.
言うなれば今の自分に対する不満や不安から自らの中に別の人格を作ってしまうようなものだな。
Yeah, from what I gather, maybe a product of its time. No, I mean that it's good. I mean that it's good that this game is doing that. Because, like, and admittedly, you know, I don't know when this game was made, but I feel like I didn't even see games really start, like, actually using dissociative identity disorder instead of calling it multiple personalities until near the very end of the 2010s. So, that's just why I'm surprised. It's like, hell yeah. And like this, the explanation is a little off, but I mean, hey, like you said, product of its time. Thought you were saying the opposite? No, I'm saying it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. Once in a while, there would be a case where someone would take the personality of the man or woman they admired, but usually it was a completely original one.
でも、かがりの場合は違う。
Yeah, no,
かが
Kagari
りの
is
中
not
にあ
that.
るのは人格じゃない。文字通り、マキセ・クリスの記憶だけだ。クリスの記憶だけが彼女の頭の中に混在していると考えられる。
And maybe that's why Kagari doesn't have her memories after all. Like, maybe she was experimented on, and it had bad effects, and now she can't remember anything after the age of 10. Kagari's memories weren't overwritten. She still had them, so they had mixed together.
なるほど。
Yeah, and that would make sense too if it was because of it, like, she was experimented on to put Kurisu's memories in her. Because maybe her brain, whenever she thinks back to a specific time, is thinking of two things at once, and her brain is just going, well, that can't happen, and then just blacking it out. Which would also explain why she's feeling so much anxiety anytime that she remembers one of these things. Because it's quite literally her brain going, oh fuck, this isn't supposed to be here! What the hell is this?
2036年の技術ではそれは決して不可能な話じゃない。
じゃあ2036年からのタイムトラベラーであるかがりなら十分その可能性はあるということか。
でもさ、かがりたんは10歳より前の記憶はあるわけっしょ。他人の記憶をぶち込まれるなんてことされたらその時のこと覚えてるはずじゃね。
あの子は幼い頃たまに神様の声が聞こえるって言っていたような気がする。
Huh?
幻聴か。それがクリスの記憶からにじみ出てきたものっていうのは考えられる。
うん。ただ
Yeah,
未
that would
来
make
は
sense.
この時代ほどのどかじゃなかった。物資も人も足りてなかったんだ。記憶を移植するなんていう技術は実用化されているとしても軍の機密扱いだよ。一般人もしかも子供に使ったとは思えないな。
かがりは繊細孤児だった。 PTSD を治療するためにそういう技術が使われたということは。
That is a possibility. Let me just see. That's how I opened the menu! Okay. Huh? What? Why did that play? Wait. Okay, well, it didn't happen again. All right. Sure. Fucking whatever, I guess. Oh, we never read the thing for a microwave oven. Let's read that real quick. A cooking appliance that heats the moisture in food using microwaves. They were originally called radar ranges. Or radar ranges. Radar in this case referring to the electromagnetic waves. Microwave ovens were invented when a communications radar technician realized that EM waves could warm food. Research was done on the process after that, and in 1947 they were sold to the public in America. Microwave ovens use waves in the 2.545 gigahertz frequency range, with home units having an output between 500 to 1,000 watts, and commercial ovens between 1,500 and 2,000 watts. This frequency range is called the ISM band, and is the same one used by wireless internet. Interesting. Gyrus dentatus. Granule-shaped cells found near the hippocampal gyrus. Anatomy treats them as distinct from the hippocampus, but the field of neurology often uses the term hippocampus to refer to the both of them. Recent research has revealed that neurogenesis occurring in the gyrus dentatus plays an important role in forgetting things. Handle, an online nickname. It's rare for people to use online nicknames on boards like @channel. If a user does not pick a nickname, they'll simply be displayed as anonymous. And PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, from the 4th edition of the DSM-4, the American Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, published in 1994, caused by severe shock from experiencing an accident, disaster, crime, or other seriously traumatic event. This mental disorder causes any number of stress-related issues. Symptoms include psychological instability, insomnia, confusion, memory trouble, and other problems that last for over a month. Alright, cool.
だからって他人の記憶を移植するのは さすがに変だ。
だな。となると記憶のない時期、1998年以降にその移植が行われた可能性が高くなってくるが。
Yeah, and that makes this a whole lot harder.
2036年なら可能でもさ、今の技術でできるもんなん？
クリスなら可能だろう。
She'd done it all by herself to make the time leap machine after all.
マキセ・クリスがカガリに自分の記憶を移植したって。彼女はそんなマッドサイエンティストみたいなことをする人だったの？
I mean, she was going to confront her dad about like the time travel research that he stole from her. Maybe she suspected that he might try to hurt her? Or maybe she just figured that she needed to like save her research for later? In case, you know, someone else decided to take her out for it. But, I mean, I don't know how likely that would be. I mean, she did protect her dad from Okabe, and that's why she's dead in this timeline, so... There was no way. It was impossible. It had to be. And there weren't many people as smart as Kurisu Makase. If she didn't do it, I couldn't imagine anyone else would.
そうだよな。突飛な発想すぎるよな。俺だってそう思う。
I might have been getting too attached to my own idea.
でもクリスしか知り得ないことをカガリが知っているのは間違いないんだ。
例えば幽霊になったマキセ氏の魂がカガリタンに乗り移った的なことだったりして。
I don't think this is that kind of series, Daru. I don't think this is that kind of series.
お前そんなオカルト話をヒアジョーさんの前ででも披露してみろ。全力で論破されるぞ。
ですよね。
In the end, I realized there was nothing I could do for Kagari but watch for a while to see how things went. We were just students without any kind of specialized knowledge. No matter how much we debated or what ideas we came up with, we wouldn't be able to find the answer easily.
そういえばダル、ユキさんはどうしてる？
天音氏なら毎日バイト忙しいみたいだお。
彼女は何のバイトをしているんだった？
ケーキ屋さんって聞いてる。美味しいから一度食べに来てって言われた。
そうそう。
Oh, that's cute.
ちょっと遠いんだよね。
だからこそ言ったら喜ばれるんじゃないか。しっかりしてよ、父さん。
あ、はい、させん。
Do we need a tip to explain that? What? Why? Just a second. Is that gonna happen every time I open the menu? The hotkey for that is I have to be holding both 1 and 5. Alright, so it's not gonna happen anymore. Okay, cool. My bad. Often used as part of the phrase lol lol, my bad, lol lol lol. While theoretically an apology, it is more often used to provoke or annoy someone. I mean, I use that unironically.
つうかオカリン、なんでいきなりそんなこと聞くん？
To me, that's just like a casual way to say, hey dude, I'm sorry, that one's on me. Like, that was my fault, my bad.
いや、ちょっと気になってな。
That girl in the motorcycle suit. Could that have been Yuki Amane? Oh, right! I still hadn't convinced myself it wasn't her. If it was, she may be involved in some way in what was happening to Kagari. But that attack only took place in the other world line. It hadn't happened in this one, so I had no way to tell.
もし彼女のことで何か。
母さんがどうかしたの？
いや、なんでもない。
I still didn't have any proof. I'd have to just keep an eye out on her. My priority right now is Kagari. What had happened during the time when she lost her memories? If I could find that out, I might be able to understand what was about to happen to us.
それじゃあ始めるわよ。いい？
Maho came to the lab again the next day. She was there to look at Kagari's memories. Kagari had volunteered to work with her. As of yesterday, my hypothesis was still just a hypothesis. And anytime she saw a hypothesis, she wanted to test it. Maybe that's just how scientists were.
まずはこれを見てもらえる？
Maho held up a cell phone. There was a picture displayed on its screen. There was a corridor with white walls and clean white floors, and two people wearing lab coats were walking
こ
down
れ
it.
がどこだかわかる？学校？どこの？ビクトル・コンドリア大学の。この手前に歩いてる人、彼の名前は？トニー・ブラウン、あだ名は JB。興奮すると独特のステップを踏むから。
Huh? I feel like I'm not getting the joke here.
じゃあこっちの彼女は？わかんない。
Oh my god! If it's a Justin Bieber reference, this would be the time frame for it though, because like, didn't Baby come out and like, no wait, Justin Bieber, like that wasn't a thing in 2010, 2011. That would be, I mean, I guess the game, like it could be just an out of universe reference.
どうだ？
彼女も私たち研究者の間ではかなり有名な子よ。クリスだって当然知ってるはずだわ。
仮にカガリがクリスの記憶を持っているとしても、完全に全てを思い出せているわけじゃないみたいだ。
That's how it had seemed yesterday too.
記憶として呼び起こされるものと、そうじゃないものがあるんじゃないのか。
だからってこの程度じゃまだクリスの記憶だと断言はできないわ。彼らのことくらい調べれば誰だってわかることだもの。カガリさん、もう少し突っ込んだ質問をしてもいい？
Baby was in 2010. Okay, it's a Justin Bieber reference. Awesome.
去年の冬、私とクリスで映画を見に行ったことがあるの。
ヒアジョーさんとクリスが？
意外？私たちだってたまには息抜きをする。普段は研究ばかりだけど。
It was surprising actually. I hadn't thought that they'd interacted outside of work.
研究でちょっと詰まってた私をあの子が連れ出してくれたのよ。たまたまチケットが2枚あるからって。
That's just like how a man asks a girl on a date. She never was any good with that stuff.
その時に見た映画のタイトル。
It released in 2015. Okay, it's definitely a Justin Bieber reference. Great.
ボブ・ワイナー監督の彼と彼女の予感？
Maho gulped. That must have been the right answer.
それって最近の映画か？聞いたことないが。
20年前の作品。そのリバイバル上映だったのよ。
And Kagari had guessed it. She'd known the title of a movie that Kurisu and Maho had gone to see together in private. And since it wasn't a major worldwide release, it wasn't something you could get with a lucky guess.
でもそれも誰か目撃していた人がいればわかることよ。
だが君が今日そんな質問をするということは予想できなかったはずだ。カガリがそのために細かい情報まで全て暗記したとでも？
Yeah, that'd be pretty unlikely. It would be impossible, and she didn't have a reason to bother anyways.
私だってそのくらいのこと分かってるわ。
I could tell from the pained expression on her face that Maho was struggling with something. and I was starting to realize what it was. She didn't want to admit it. She didn't want to admit that it was possible. It was winter, but Kagari's forehead was dripping with sweat again. Going through her confused memories may have been putting a lot of stress on her.
これぐらいにしよう。かがりがきつそうだ。
待って、最後にもう一つだけ聞かせて。いいよ、どうぞ。
Kagari nodded and motioned for her to go ahead.
子供の頃、あなたが一番大切にしていたものは何？子供の頃。それはアメリカに移住してからもずっと部屋に置いてあったイルカのぬいぐるみ。水族館に行った時パパが買ってくれた。
Man. Maho sighed and sunk onto the sofa.
合ってるのか？
ええ。昨日クリスのお母さんが電話で教えてくれたわ。このことを知ってるのはクリスとご両親だけ。
それじゃあ。
Damn.
悔しいけど、
Alright.
あなたの仮説を否定できない。
そうか。
私どうなっちゃうのかな。
I didn't have an answer. I didn't even know how this had happened in the first place. The only possibility I could think of was...
かがりさん、付き合わせて悪かったわね。ゆっくり休んで。
Maho stood up with a serious expression on her face.
帰るのか？
ええ。自分なりにまだ検証できることは残っていそうだから。それじゃあまた。
Maho got up and went for the door without bothering to look back. She seemed to be silently shutting out the entire world. All we could do was watch her go. Maho Hyajo stared at her computer monitor in a daze. The rest of the world was still feeling the afterglow of New Year's excitement. The last time she'd come to Japan, it was still in the heat of summer. She'd used her vacation days to come then. Her coworker Kurisu Makise had suddenly died, and she wanted to see the place where she was murdered herself. Maho's feelings for Kurisu Makise were complicated. Until Kurisu had come to her lab, Maho had thought herself a genius. She'd graduated high school after skipping grades and joined a university lab when she was still in her teens. It was understandable that she'd feel that way. Everyone else said that she was a genius too. But her pride was shattered to tiny little pieces by the arrival of Kurisu Makise. Kurisu Makise was the real thing. Maho didn't even come close to her. She had realized that she could never be as smart as Kurisu. And she realized that she didn't want to be beaten by her anyway. It would have been so much easier if she could have hated her. It would have been so much easier to hate Kurisu. But Kurisu Makise wouldn't even allow her that much. She was a dedicated scientist, and that dedication carried over to her treatments of Maho too.
先輩のその研究、うまくいけば革命的な成果が得られると思います。私に何かできることがあれば手伝いますから言ってくださいね。
Someday she swore she'd surpass her. Someday she swore she'd make Kurisu say that she was the smarter one. But now that would never happen. Kurisu Makise went away on a trip and never came back. Maho had been told that she'd been attacked by a robber and killed. But it didn't seem real. It felt like she'd come back to the lab any day now and start arguing with the professors with that same self-satisfied smirk on her face. Until then, Maho would work on the Amadeus project, so that when Kurisu came back, she would be amazed. Amadeus. An artificial intelligence that could be loaded with an individual's memories. It was possible to digitize memories by analyzing the nerve signals relating to the memories stored in the temporal lobe. It had been Kurisu, of course, who had proved it. And then Maho and her team had turned that proof into usable technology. By the time Kurisu got back, she would have had it all ready for the next level. She'd show it to Kurisu and astonish her. But even that hope didn't last long. She was suddenly told that the project was cancelled. Of course, she couldn't accept it. But no matter what she said, no matter how many times she argued with the professor, she couldn't get the cancellation overturned. Amadeus went to sleep at the bottom of the lab server, along with Kurisu Makise's digitized memories. Kurisu Makise's memories. Now they were in the head of another girl. How had that happened? There was only one possibility, if it was possible at all. Just like Rintaro Okabe had said.
Oh yeah.
Ah, it's you! She opened the door and a large man she knew very well came inside.
Maho, どうしたんだい? まだニューイヤーハリデーのはずだが。
そういう教授こそわざわざ休みの日に出てきてるじゃないですか。
Maho's mentor, Dr. Leskinen, was here in Japan for a month-long conference on artificial intelligence. Maho had come with him as his assistant. But the conference didn't take place every day, so they spent the time between sessions at the Japanese office, making presentation materials and exchanging emails.
私の場合、休みといっても特にすることもないからね。ホテルにこもっていても息が詰まるだけだし、それならここに来て仕事をしていた方がいい。
だったら私も似たようなものです。
For a researcher, doing research was a hobby. If nothing else, all the scientists Maho knew were like that. Of course, she'd come here today because she'd assumed Dr. Leskinen would feel that way.
君にはいろいろとやることがあるだろう。例えば、デートとか。
教授、あんまりしつこいとセクハラで訴えますよ。
おっと、それだけは勘弁してくれ。
Dr. Leskinen slumped his shoulders in the unique way that... Alright, that Caucasian's always overreacted. He seemed intent on bringing Maho and Okabe together. She and Okabe were both friends of Kurisu's, and so they talked a lot, but there was nothing more to it than that. At least that's what she thought. Probably.
それじゃあ、お詫びというわけじゃないですが、一つ聞いてもいいですか
I need to find a picture real quick. I need to find a certain picture. Alright, give me just 1 second, guys. Give me just 1 second. I promise this will be funny. Okay, add source. How do I add a source? There we go. Add source. Image. Just give me 1 second. This is a bad joke. All right. I had to do it. I had to do it, guys. The game really said white.
じゃあ聞きますけど、アマデウスは今どうなっているんですか？
どうも何も今のところ進められる目
just a
処
sec,
が
my
立っていないことは
My chat got minimized.
君だってよく知っているはずだよ。
それは分かってます。私が聞きたいのはアマデウスのデータはどうなっているかということです。
研究室のサーバーに保管されているね。
誰かがアクセスしたり持ち出したりは？
Leskinen's eyes narrowed and he slowly... Jesus Christ! I do one bit and I forget how to speak English! Leskinen's eyes narrowed and he slowly shook his head.
魔法、君がなぜそんな疑問を持ったのか私にはわからないが。エムデウスへのアクセス権はごく限られた一部の人間にしかないし、不正にアクセスされたという事案も起こってはいないはずだ。少なくとも今まで私のところにそのような報告はもたらされていない。
私やクリスの記憶データも？
I mean, I can confirm that I kind of do that. I mean, depends. It's like, on one hand, like, I overreact as a joke a lot of the time. I mean, just in real life, whenever I'm hanging out with friends, like, I just overreact naturally because I think it's funny. But I don't fucking know. I don't keep a close enough eye on my body language to tell.
もちろん。
それじゃあ他に私が知らない人工知能のプロジェクトが動いているなんてこともありませんか？
あるわけがない。我々の研究チームには魔法、君の力が必要不可欠だ。私たちはクリスという才能を失った。それは大いなる損失だったが、彼女のいなくなった穴を埋められるのは君だけだと思っている。そんな君の知らないところで新たなプロジェクトなどを進めるはずがないだろ
う。そうですか。
He does make a good point. The compliment felt like a bit too much for her to take at face value. Although, I mean, they are kind of both geniuses in their own right. I can see why he would compare the two. There were a lot of scientists who were always looking to get a leg up on the competition. If someone else got the glory first, everything you worked on until that point would be useless. Even in the same team, there were only a few people you could really trust. But to Maho, Dr. Leskinen was one of those people.
質問に対する答えはこれでいいかな？
はい。
では、私からの質問もいいかい？どうして急にそんなことを聞くんだい？
それは、
もしかして自分の秘密が誰かに漏れていないか心配にでもなったのかな？
まあ、そんなところです。
それなら心配ない。いかにエメデウスとはいえ、本人が秘密にしたいことは喋らないようにできている。君だって知っているはずだよ。
That's not really the problem here, dude.
それは保存されたデータについても言える。仮に何者かがデータを盗んだところで、本人がどうしても知られたくない部分はブラックボックスになっている。エムデウスからはもちろん、記憶データからも取り出すことは不可能だ。秘密が漏れるとしたら、その記憶を持つ生身の人間からだけだね。
記憶を持つ生身の人間。
そう、つまり本人だけということだ。どうだい？少しは安心したかい？
Is that maybe why Kagari has Kurisu's memories because they were trying to get Kurisu's information out of Amadeus. And then Amadeus was like, no, I'm not telling you. And because it was data, like, they couldn't override that. But then they were like, okay, well, what if we put your memories into a completely different person who doesn't have the context to know why you're keeping this quiet? It's like it's possible? It would make sense, at least.
ええ、まあ。
It wasn't that she didn't trust Dr. Leskinen, but she couldn't relax until she'd seen for herself that no one had taken the data. Maho only thought it was possible to believe something after you'd seen it yourself. That's how she thought a scientist should be. But right now, she didn't have the access rights to do so. So in the end, she was stuck with her doubts. She knew this was going to happen, but she couldn't stop herself from asking anyway. Oh, hi!
二人ともいたのね。
Been a while since we've seen you in, like, more ways than one. Cause, like, I think that we first saw her, like, a couple streams before the last one. Dr. Reyes walked through the door just as she finished her conversation with the professor.
まったく、せっかくのホリデーだというのに、物好きね。
レイエス教授こそ。
And why were you at the Devil's Sacrament, Dr. Reyes?
私はホテルにいてもやることなんてないから。
Maho exchanged a glance with Dr. Leskinen, then shrugged. That's just how scientists were.
何なのよ。
なんでもないです。
Just a little bit of deja vu. She and Dr. Leskinen laughed at Ray's confusion, but the doubts in her mind lingered. All right. Kurisu's memories were inside Kagari's head. Several days had passed since I'd begun to suspect my hypothesis was correct.
ごめんなさい。オカリンさんにはいろいろ迷惑かけちゃって。
別に迷惑だなんて思ってない。それに俺なんかよりもルカ子やマユリの方がいろいろと気を配ってくれてるはずだ。
In fact, Mayuri and Lukako were doing a very good job of taking care of her. Mayuri may not have realized it, but Kagari looked up to her as a mother figure. And after living under the same roof for so long, Lukako had come to care for her a lot.
そんな、僕なんてただ話し相手になるくらいで。
I mean, that's enough in most cases.
何の役にも立ってあげられなくてごめんね。そんなことないよ。ルカ君はすごくよくしてくれてるし、
I like that.
いてくれるだけで嬉しいし。
It makes it feel like I'm actually like in first person looking at them in a room instead of just reading a visual novel. Mayuri fidgeted in embarrassment when she heard the word mommy. Yeah, you're gonna have more reasons to do that in about 10 years. Whenever the internet gets a hold of that word. I could understand why. It must feel strange to be called mommy at her age, especially by someone who was older than she was. Like, yeah, I feel weird whenever people call me like a cat mom or Vesta's mom or something. I'm like, I'm 26. Even though that is like the age that a lot of people are mothers. I'm still like, no, that's weird. Don't call me that.
ねえママ。なに？ギュッてしていい？ギュ？子供の頃にママがよくやってくれたみたいにギュッてしてもいい？わわ、照れちゃうな。ダメ？
This is really cute! So we can get a fucking sprite of Kagari turned away from the camera so we just see the back of her head. But we don't get a little CG of them, like, hugging. Come on, it'd be adorable! Mayuri smiled and nodded, and Kagari gave her a big hug with a huge grin on her face.
Kagari-chan, いい子いい子.
Mayuri never asked for details, but she seemed to sense what was happening to Kagari. She probably understood that this was the best thing she could do right now.
Mama.
It was strange. Kagari was a lot older, but when they were like this, they really did look like mother and child.
ありがとう、ママ.
Kagari slowly moved away from Mayuri. She looked a lot calmer than she had a moment ago. It was probably okay to talk to her now.
それで、かがり、調子はどうだ？
調子か。なんだかよくわからないかな。
よくわからないとは？
ふとした瞬間に思い出すことがあるんだけど、それが自分のものなのか、クリスさんのものなのかわかんないの。難しい数式とか実験とか理解はできてないんだけど知ってるみたいな。
Kagari's only memories were of her time as a child, and the time since Lukako's father's friend had found her. Kurisu's memories would appear sometimes and fill the gap in between. I couldn't even imagine how that must have felt. Yeah, that'd be
この前もね、
fucking weird.
パパのことを思い出したの。子供の頃、パパに褒められた時の記憶。それを思い出して、なんだかすごく嬉しかったんだけどね。でも私、赤ちゃんの頃に両親死んじゃったし、それからはまゆりママに育ててもらったから、パパなんて知らないんだよね。だけど自分が経験したことじゃないのに褒められて嬉しいっていう感情は確かにあって、
That would line up with
そう
Kurisu.
考えてると頭の中がごちゃってなっちゃって。
Kagari grimaced and held her head in her hands. The first time I met her, I'd been surprised by how much she looked like Kurisu. But talking to her like this, I realized how different she was. The way her expression was constantly changing, and the way she always slightly overreacted was actually more like Mayuri. Was that because they were mother and child?
そのクリスの記憶はよく出てくるのか？
うん。前に比べると頻繁になったかも。
そうか。
ねえ、おかり。かがりちゃん、どうなっちゃうのかな？
本来ならちゃんとした専門機関で検査してもらうのが一番いいんだろうが。
But given her position, it wasn't that easy. Yeah, because that's a hell of a story to try and tell a doctor. Like, hey, so this is our friend. She's from the year 2036, and we think that she has the memories of a girl who was murdered. Can you just do a quick CAT scan and like confirm that for us? Like any reasonable doctor is gonna look at you and go, what the fuck are you talking about?
あんまり検査はしたくないな。子供の頃もね、検査ばっかりしてたから。
Oh?
そうなのか？
うん。PTSD を治すためだって言って。
Makes sense, makes sense. So she didn't seem eager to be looked at either, huh? If more of Kurisu's memories woke up, what would happen to her? Would she be Kagari Shina with the memories of Kurisu Makise? Or would she become Kurisu Makise? A person's personality was more than just the sum of their memories, but memories were an important part of it. Once she had Kurisu's memories, what would happen to her? At this point, no one knew. It was quite possible that up until now, no one had ever shared a person's memories before. And that's the trouble.
時間。
Time for what?
あ、本当だ。ねえ、オカリン。この後、かがりちゃんのこと任せていいかな。
Something's about to happen, isn't it?
これから学校で進路についての説明会があるんだ。マユシーたち、どうしても出なくちゃいけなくて。すみません。
謝るなって。心配しなくていい。かがりはちゃんと家まで送っていくから。
ありがとうございます。
Oh, something bad's about to happen!
それじゃあ、かがりちゃん。また明日ね。
Oh, no! We just had such a cute moment!
うん、ママ、また明日。
Will you? Once Mayuri and Lukaka were gone, it was just me and Kagari in the room. After the problems with Kagari's memories started coming up, I'd been having her hold off on her job at the Brawn Tube workshop. But I was still having her come here as much as possible during the day, in case something happened. Okabe, I think something's about to happen. Suzuha and Tenyoji were downstairs. That alone made me feel better. I suddenly felt Kagari looking at me. Okay, it's not happening yet.
改めて考えると、こうしてオカリンさんと話してるっていうのが不思議だなーって。
不思議？どうして？
だって私にとってのオカリンさんはお話の中の
The chill music is currently playing, so surely nothing bad could happen. Oh, damn. I mean, I wish I could believe that, but this is Steins Gate.
お話の中。
うん。ダルおじさんやママから聞くお話の中の人。
That's right. According to Suzuha, I was going to die in 2025. Which meant that in Kagari's time, I was no longer alive. That's rough, bud.
ママはね、いっつもオカリンさんの話をしてたよ。オカリンがママを助けてくれた。オカリンがママの彦星様なんだよって。
Hikoboshi? What does that mean?
あいつ、未来になってもそんなことを言っているのか。
Now it was my turn to be embarrassed.
だからね、私もずーっと気になってたんだ。
It's a folktale.
ママがそんな
Oh,
に
okay,
大
okay,
切
okay.
に
Fair
思
enough.
ってるオカリンさんってどんな人なんだろって。みんなが話題にする岡部倫太郎っていう人がどんな人なんだろうって。もしかしたらちょっと憧れてたかも。
A person's hikoboshi is their love, I believe, or someone very special. Ah, okay, that makes sense.
からかうのはよしてくれ。
オカリンさんたら照れちゃってる。
Kagari clearly had the upper hand here.
ね、でもそういう意味では牧瀬クリスって人もそうかな。
Ah! This scene is too cute! It's only making the dread worse!
クリスが？
うん。牧瀬クリスっていう人の名前もママやダルおじさんの口に
It is, it's building!
残ってたから。ずっと昔に亡くなっちゃったのに、そんなに影響のある人ってどんな人だろうって。
そのマユリはクリスのことをなんて？
オカリンさんの大切な人だって。
The person I loved. For me, that was an undeniable truth. That wasn't true for the rest of the lab. In this world line, Mayuri had never met Kurisu, and I tried as much as possible to avoid bringing her up. But thanks to me, even in the future, she'd still feel that way.
そうだ。今から買い物に行くんだが、よかったら一緒に来ないか。
買い物？
ああ、まだこの辺りのことをよく知らないだろ。
いいの？
もちろんだ。
After what happened in the last world line, it was probably a good idea to keep her from going outside too much. But she probably needed a change of pace. It was still afternoon. As long as we stuck to busy streets, we'd probably be fine.
やった。実はね、いろいろ欲しいものもあったんだ。
欲しいもの？
うん。日用品とか、いろいろね。
ルカ子が用意してくれてるんじゃないのか？
そうだけど、でもほら、ルカ君だって男の子でしょ？だから、いろいろ頼んじゃうのも悪いなって。
True, even if he was beautiful, Lukako was a guy. There were some things he just wouldn't understand.
それじゃあ、行くか。
やっぱりすごいよね。
Kaguri's eyes were shining as she looked up and down the street.
人も多いし、お店もたくさんあるし、ここがあの秋葉原と同じ街だとは思えないな。
未来の秋葉原はどんなところなんだ？
一言で言うと、そうだな。瓦礫の山かな。まあ、秋葉原に限ったことじゃないんだけどね。
Damn. Suzuha had said that the Third World War would start soon, which meant that a young Kaguri would have only known the world after that horrible war. Fuck, I keep tripping up on my words. I didn't sleep the best last night, but like, Jesus. Of course, that was all my fault. Probably. If I did what Suzuha wanted and went back to July 28th, would the world line change so that the Third World War never happened? Impossible. The world lines were going to converge no matter what I did.
あ、オカリンさん、もしかして自分のせいだなんて思っちゃってる？
I gasped. She'd read my mind.
その反応は図星だね。でも、その考えはダメ。バッテンなのだ。私の知る限り、ママもタルおじさんも、誰もオカリンさんを責めてなんていなかったよ。だって、ママたちはみんな信じてたから、オカリンさんならいつかやってくれるって。そのシュタインズゲートだっけ？そこに導いてくれるって。
I knew Kaguri was trying to make me feel better, and that Mayuri and Daru would probably never blame me. That's the title. There it is. But those words just made it worse. Because I'd given up on everything.
わあ、ごめんなさい。別に追い込むつもりとかじゃなかったんだけど。
I must have had a pretty dark look on my face.
いや、俺の方こそすまない。でも、俺はも
う。ストップ。今日はそういうのはなし。せっかく外に出たんだから、もっと楽しい話しよう。ね。
Kaguri's mind was probably filled with memories of a painful war. If nothing else, those were her only memories as Kaguri Shina. But she was still trying to make me feel better. Even if they weren't related by blood, she really was Mayuri's daughter. Still, it was hard to come up with something that was more fun to talk about.
そうだな。 せっかくだからママの若い頃の話を聞きたいな。
まゆりの？
若いって言っても今も若いんだけど、でももっと若い頃の話、例えば人質の話とか。
まゆりはそんなことまで君に話しているのか？
うん、私ね、オカリンさんの話をする時のママの顔が大好きなの。とっても大切な宝箱をそーっと開けるみたいな、そんな顔っていうのかな。その顔とその時の声と、それを思い出すだけですっごくあったかい気持ちになれるんだ。
To Kagari, Mayuri must have felt like a star shining in a world of darkness and mud. A star shining brighter than anything else in the night sky.
別に大した話じゃないさ。大好きなおばあさんが亡くなってずっと悲しんでたあいつが今にも消えてしまいそうで、それで口から出た痛々しいセリフだ。
お前は俺の人質だって。
Hearing it from another person made me so embarrassed that I wanted to go hide.
若かったんだ。若さゆえの過ちというやつさ。
それでもその言葉はママを救ってくれたんだよね。
どうだろうな。
If those words meant that I was holding her back, even all the way into the future.
オカリンさん？
そんなことより腹が減らないか？何か食べにでも行こう。
I started walking ahead in an effort to change the subject. Kagari seemed hesitant as she tried to keep up.
何か食べたいものあるか？
私は何でもいいかな。
そういうのが一番困るんだ。
It's true. It's true. Anytime you ask someone, hey, where do you want to go eat? They're like, oh, anything's fine. Anywhere is fine. It's like, this doesn't help me. Just make the decision. Anytime that happens now, I'm just like, okay, we're going to the place that I want to go then. You said anything was fine. We're going there. If you had a better idea, you should have given it to me.
だってこの時代の食べ物って何でも美味しいんだもん。びっくりするくらい。
未来じゃ何を食べてたんだ？
I mean, in the first game, didn't Suzuha talk about like eating like bugs and grass clippings and shit? Why was the potato so quiet? It was a meditator. Awesome souls.
お芋とかそういうのばっかりかな。あ、でも
She was a soldier too. Yeah, that's fair.
違う味付けしてくれてたから。
まゆりが？
うん。
Yeah, she was really bad at that in this time.
そのうまかったのか？
うん。
そうか。
This is the most mind-blowing thing about the future Okabe has heard. The human animal was capable of growth, it seemed. Well, Yuki had been teaching her a lot lately. Maybe that had paid off.
だから私は何でもいいよ。
Alright then.
お帰りなさいませ。
Here we are!
オカリン、それにカガリニャンも。
I'd chosen to stop by May Queen Nyan, and it was packed.
今日は混んでるな。
そうなのにゃん。今日からアニメとのタイアップキャンペーンが始まったのにゃん。
Come to think of it, there was a sign out front with some anime characters on it. I'd seen those characters all over town. It is good to see Ferris again. I feel like we've seen basically all of the cast at this point. Like, the only ones we haven't seen are Moeka and then Mayuri's friends. Oh, excuse me. Jeez, I'm hiccuping now. I just wanted to take a sip of water. My throat's been getting just like really dry for no reason lately. And usually that happens right before I get sick, but it's been like a few days now, and it keeps happening just every once in a while. And like, I don't feel sick in any other way. So, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Yeah, it's just annoying.
そういうことならまた今度にするよな。
もっとゆっくりできそうな時に出直してくるね。せっかく来てもらったのにごめんや。
My apologies! That's my favorite of the nya puns yet. My apologies. We left Mei Queen Yan too and walked around for a bit, but it was lunchtime and every place we saw was crowded.
すごいね。どこも人だらけ。
まったくだ。わざわざ外で飯なんか食わずに家で済ませればいいもの。
でもそれって私たちにも当てはまるよね。
Now then, what to do?
ラボで食べよっか。
言っとくが、俺は料理なんてできないぞ。
私も。
Then that was out of the question.
簡単なものでいいよ。あ、私あれ食べてみたかったんだ。ほら、お湯かけて食べるヌードル的なの。
Instant noodles? Instant ramen?
カップ麺か？あんなものでいいのか？
未来だとね、工場がいっぱいなくなっちゃって、なかなか手に入らなくなっちゃったんだ。ダルおじさんがいつも食べたいって言ってて、ずっと気になってたの。
Fair enough. If she was okay with that, then so was I. And I had just the thing. We bought a lot of instant noodles at the local convenience store. If there were any left, Dottie would probably eat them.
すっごいね。カップ麺ってあんなにいっぱい種類あるんだ。
今は未来と違って飽食の時代だからな。コンビニなんかでは毎週のように新商品が出る。
そうなんだね。この中のどれを食べてもいいの？
You know, I keep meaning to try different flavors of instant noodles too. I tend to stick just to the beef and the chicken ones. But then again, that's just the Mr. Noodles kind. Like, the grocery store closest to me does have an international aisle, and they do have a lot of straight from Japan instant noodles, so it's like, hey, it's like $2 a meal, I might as well. Don't eat instant noodles anymore? That's fair. I got sick once after eating them and permanently gave them up. Oh no! Yeah, that's how it goes. You get sick eating a food once and then never again. This is why I'm so careful with sushi places. Like, sushi is my special little treat that I give myself whenever something exciting happens. If that gets ruined by food poisoning once and it ruins sushi for me, I would be pissed. But yeah, it's probably for the best that you gave them up, to be honest. They are so full of salt. Kagari looked inside the plastic bag I was holding.
もちろん。好きなのを選んでくれ。
それじゃどれにしよっかな。
She looked just like a child the way she put her finger to her lips as her eyes shone.
私これにする。塩味の。
Just salt? Just salt.
なんなら2つでも3つでも食べてもいいぞ。
本当？でも食べ過ぎちゃうと太っちゃうしな。
Don't worry about that too much. Eat the food. Who cares? She had so many different expressions that I never got tired of watching them.
そういえばさっき他にも何か買ってたみたいだったけど。
ああ、これだよ。
Aw, it's adorable. I took something plastic out of the bag. I've been saying adorable a lot this stream.
フォークだよ。箸じゃ食べづらいんじゃないかと思って。自分専用のものにしてラボに置いておけばいい。
いいの？もらっちゃって。
別に大したものじゃない。
Kurisu had always wanted her own fork. I knew this didn't make up for anything. I just wanted to do it.
やった！ありがとう。実はね、私お箸使うの苦手なんだ。ママからもいつも注意されてて。
I feel you, Kagari. I'm decent with chopsticks, but like, still not the greatest. Like, I definitely couldn't eat ramen with chopsticks. I can eat sushi, because that's what I'm used to eating with chopsticks, but anything else? God, all this talk of food is making me hungry! I had lunch at like 3 o'clock this afternoon, so like, and that was the last meal I had. Oh man, I'll see if there's like a grocery store, convenience store close to me that's like still open. Maybe I'll take a walk there.
これ先っぽにウサギさんがついてる。かわいい。
How about a nice pizza? Oh man, see, here's the thing. I was tempted to pick up pizza, but I have like so much pasta at the moment because I have a bunch of spaghetti sauce that I need to go through and eat. And also, over the weekend I got talking to my mom about these sort of like spinach and cheese raviolis that we used to get whenever I was a kid. And I was like, man, it sucks that they don't make them anymore. And I guess my mom took a look at one of the local grocery stores, and they didn't have that exact thing, but they had like pasta rolls that had spinach and cheese in them. So she got me 2 boxes of them, and I was like, holy shit, thank you. But the thing is that like I was tempted to get a pizza whenever I got back home, because I've recently learned that the grocery store, not the closest one to me, but a different one, has these pizzas that are cheese and spinach. And I don't know why, but cheese and tomato sauce with spinach is just fucking amazing to me. I love it. It's so good. And so I was tempted whenever I stopped by there earlier this week to pick one up, but I didn't because I was like, okay, I already have spinach rolls. Like, I'm gonna end up getting sick of this if I just keep buying food with that's like Italian food that has spinach in it. I'm gonna get sick of it. Because that's what happened with onion rings for me, is that I bought them too much, and then after like a year, I can't eat them anymore. I can't get through a whole plate of them anymore. It sucks. You need to make Swedish meatballs with noodles. See, I should get Swedish meatballs because what I like to do with them is, okay, so this is like one of my favorite easy meals. You take a whole box of Swedish meatballs and you put it in a crock pot with 2 cans or jars or whatever they're called of honey garlic sauce. You let those cook for about 8 hours on like one of the lowest settings. And then you put the meatballs on white rice. Very simple meal. You can put it on when you go to work. That's what I used to do. And then you come home, the whole apartment smells like honey garlic. It is fucking delicious, and all you have to do whenever you get home from work is wait 5 minutes for the rice cooker to finish. It's awesome. Highly recommend. Oh, and also, if you, like, what I usually do whenever I make the honey garlic meatballs is I'll take half and put it in the fridge for like dinners and stuff, and then I'll take the other half and I'll pre-make like a bunch of rice, and I'll freeze it all in containers. And so that this way, whenever I need like meals for work and stuff, I've already got them. And because the rice has been sitting in that honey garlic sauce long enough for it to freeze, it absorbs all the sauce and it's really good. highly recommend it as a meal prep option. Especially if you can get the meatballs and the sauce on sale, because that's like the expensive part. Just keep an eye out for sales, especially with like the sauce, because that shit stays good forever. That shit stays good for like 2-3 years. So I get that on sale, and then I just wait for the meatballs to go on sale. And it's like I can make like 6 or 7 meals, and it's typically about maybe like $12 Canadian. It's really good. I mean, this is also, like, it's been a while, and I don't know how much meatballs cost anymore. I don't think I've made it for a solid year. Ah, damn. I need to make that again. God, now I'm craving honey garlic meatballs. No! At this point, I'm gonna end up just going to, like, McDonald's or something. I'm gonna end up ordering from, like, fucking Popeyes or something just to have tastier food until I can get to the grocery store tomorrow morning.
私専用のフォーク。私のもの、これで2つ目だ。
The other must have been the keychain that Mayuri gave her.
でも、なんでかな。私、これずっと欲しかったような気がする。
Yep. You sure did.
もしかして、これもクリスさんの記憶なのかな。
It sure is!
さあ、どうだろうな。
ねえ、オカリンさん。オカリンさんはクリスさんのことを好きだったんでしょ？
Ouch! Okay, maybe it's time to change the topic a little bit here, Kagari. I almost choked at the unexpected change in the direction of the conversation. Salt on wounds, not on ramen!
大丈夫？
いきなりなんでそうなる？
だって大切な人っていうのはそういうことでしょ？で、どうなの？好きだったの
？Kagari, I don't think you know what you're doing to this man right now. She seemed genuinely interested. I guess she was the right age for that.
まあ、あいつとの出会いが俺の人生を大きく変えたのは確かだな。
ああ、ごまかした。ずるい。でも人生を変えるほどの大切な人か。なんか憧れるかも。
She changed everything, past and future.
ねえ、オカリンさんから見て、マキセ・クリスさんってどんな人だったの？
気になるか？
自分の頭の中にある記憶の持ち主のこと、もっと知りたいよ。
Which, understandable, I guess. I mean, all Kagari must know about her is that she was a scientist. She was close to Okabe. Kagari has her memories, and she's dead. Like, that's not too much to know about a person.
俺が教えなくても、それこそ記憶として頭の中にあるんじゃないのか？
それが自分で思い出そうとしても思い出せないんだよね。時々断片的に出てくるだけで、それも大抵難しいことばかり。だからもっと人間的な部分っていうの、そういう人となりとか教えてほしいなって。
Kagari had never actually met Kurisu, had she? If she was sharing the memories of someone she'd never met, it would make sense if she wanted to know more about her.
あいつはマキセ・クリスはとにかく好奇心の強いやつだったよ。
ふむふむ。
その上頑固で、自分が正しいと思ったことは誰に何を言われても決して曲げることはなかった。
そうなんだ。
不 そんで強がりで、そのくせ寂しがり屋で。
The memories of all the conversations I had with Karisu and everything I'd gone through with her came flooding back into my mind. I'd talked to her here just like this once before, come to think of it. Not in this world line, though.
それに怒ると怖かった。
怖い？どんな風に？
解凍して海馬に電極ぶっ刺すなんて物騒なこと言われたりしたよ。
And then, for some reason, she ran a few steps forward and spun around. And then...
そんなこと言ってると解凍して海馬に電極ぶっ刺すわよ。
Damn.
今すぐ解凍して海馬に電極ぶっ刺してやろうかしら。
Kurisu.
なんてこんな感じ？オカリンさん？
あ、いや。
The memories of Kurisu inside Kagari. If they could be perfectly replicated inside Kagari's head, would Kagari Shina become Kurisu Makise? It was a stupid idea. Personality and memories were different things. But even so, if her memories turned into Kurisu's completely, if that happened...
オカリンさん。
え？
Kagari wandered back up to me and put her weight against me. It was so sudden I caught my breath. I could feel her warmth on my chest. The feeling of her skin. It reminded me of Kurisu.
クリス。
The sound of her pained moan brought me back to reality.
どうした？係。頭が痛いのか？
Oh, there goes gravity! Fuck. Oh, this is worse than before. Okay. Kagari's body twitched in my arms.
やだ。もうあんなとこ帰りたくない。助けて。誰かここから出して。
どうしたんだ？係。
助けてママ。どうして助けてくれないの？ママ。
落ち着け。
Shit.
落ち着くんだ係。
I grabbed her hands to keep her from struggling anymore. Yeah, I mean, they did mention that she suffered from PTSD, so like, fuck, if she was experimented on, yeah, bringing back these memories are gonna fuck her up a little bit. People on the street were staring at me, but I didn't have time to think about it.
大丈夫。大丈夫だから。
オカリンさん。
歩けるか？とにかくラボに戻ろう。
She'd finally calmed down, but seemed to still be in pain. I let her lean on my shoulder as I took her back to the lab. Once we got back, she went to sleep and didn't wake up. Her headache seemed to have calmed down, but sometimes she would still moan. I'd contacted Mayuri and the others, and they were probably going to arrive soon, but the words she'd said before.
助けて。誰かここから出して。助けてママ。どうして助けてくれないの？ママ。
What was that? Were those fragments of her lost memories? If that was the case, then she really was... Just as I went to look at the clock, the door opened and Mayuri and Lukako came running in.
大丈夫なんですか？
ああ、今はよく眠っている。
よかった。
She must have heard us talking because Kagari's eyes slowly opened.
かがりさん。あれ？ここ、どこ？
She looked around, afraid.
落ち着いて。ここはラボですよ。ラボ？日本？そうだよ。日本の
Huh.
秋葉原だよ。
Weird. So that kind of implies that, like, she spent a lot of time outside of Japan whenever she was in, like, like, I guess her dark age between being 10 and being here. And she does know Victor Condria University. That is interesting to put those two pieces together. Because, I mean, the technology to create Amadeus would not have my fucking words! Alright! The technology to create Amadeus wouldn't have cropped up overnight. That would have had to have been worked on for, like, easily a decade before it ended up being a thing. And that would be around the time that Kagari can't remember anything. So I wonder if that has something to do with her having Kurisu's memories.
日本、私、日本に。ああ、そっか。私、交換留学で。
Exchange program?
そういえば、公演の準備は。留学？
Oh, wait a second. Wait a second, I misread the fucking situation. Are Kagari's memories just gone?
様子が変です。ねえ、おかりん。
Exchange program. Lecture. Those were Kurisu's memories.
あれ？論文はパパに見てもらおうと思って頑張って書いたんだけど。
落ち着けかがり。それは君の記憶じゃない。
Kagari looked up at me in a daze.
おかりんさん。
そう。
Shit.
お前は椎名かがりだ。牧瀬クリスじゃない。
かがり。私は椎名かがり。
Oh, fuck.
ルカ子、悪いが、かがりのことを頼む。
はい。
Kagari was confused for a while after that, but she gradually started to calm down again. Once it seemed safe to do so, I'd taken her back to Yanabayashi Shrine. But maybe we weren't going to be able to look after Kagari ourselves after all. Maybe we should take her to a hospital? Was it my ego that was stopping me from doing so? I kept thinking about that as I walked along.
今日はマユシーも一緒に泊まることにするね。
ああ、そうしてもらえると助かる。
It would make Kagari feel a lot better.
なるべく普段と同じように接してやってくれ。
わかった。
Yeah, Mayuri's good with people, so, like, even if there wasn't the whole mom connection, it would still be a good idea for Mayuri to stick around. I told her to contact me right away if anything came up, and then headed back to the lab.
かがり、ひどいの？
Alright, I think I'm gonna save here. Not the time! Not the time soundboard! God damn it. Worst timing! Worst timing! Alright. Okay, we're just gonna save again just to be safe. As we always do. And I'm gonna quit the game. And let's head to the just chatting screen. So that was real fucking interesting. I do really appreciate that somehow taking the route where Okabe is talking to, like, an imitation of Kurisu is the one where he's straight up like, here's a girl that could basically be a replacement goldfish for Kurisu, and Okabe is like, no, she is her own person. I'm not doing that to her. Because, like, admittedly, whenever the thing about, oh, she has Kurisu's memories came up, I was kind of thinking, like, man, it'd be fucked up if that was the route that it was taking. Where, like, basically, Okabe would be slightly pushing her to become the new Kurisu, because, I mean, that's kind of why he was using the Amadeus app as much as he was, to talk to Kurisu again, to be able to have her around again. I'm very glad that they didn't take that route. Because in hindsight, it's like, yeah, Okabe would never fucking do that. He can be a jackass sometimes, but he's not 100% a dick. So, yeah, I mean, because, yeah, I feel like I would like Okabe a whole lot less as a character if that was the route they went down. Like, it would kind of ruin him a little bit, at least in this game. But, no, he's doing the right thing, and he's helping her out, and it's, honestly, like, their scenes together are so sweet, and it sucks that something has to happen every time, but at least no one got shot. That's always a good thing in Steins Gate. Especially with his character growth this VN. Yes, exactly. It'd make no sense. Exactly. Like, maybe if the Kurisu thing had happened, like, long before he got any of his character development in Steins Gate, he would be tempted to. But this version of him is like, no, God no, God no. It's just, it's so easy for characters to get just completely fucking, what's the word, butchered when it comes to, like, sequels and prequels and stuff. A lot of the times just because the writer's like, hey, it'd be really cool if this happened in the plot, but we need someone to do this. But, yeah, it's really interesting. I wish I had more to say, but I mean, I am just kind of getting back into it right now, so you guys are gonna have to wait a couple streams for me to get more theories. Either way, yeah, I guess that's really all I have to say. Thanks, life! I definitely will. I don't even know what I'm having for dinner tonight. I have spaghetti in the fridge, but, like, I don't really feel like it. Bye, KP, have a good night! So let me just go into the usual end of stream stuff. If you are new around here, and you like what you saw, then feel free to hit that subscribe button. I do still have to do legally mandated karaoke. I have a plan for it, don't worry. The issue is that I need a job before I can even work on my plans for fucking legally mandated karaoke. I promise, I swear to fucking God that it's happening. Life keeps getting in the way. Also, so I used to be on Twitter, but now I am on Blue Sky, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. I'm posting on there pretty frequently, actually. Definitely a lot more frequently than I posted on Twitter. So if you want to follow me there, I post stream announcements, I post if I'm going to be delayed, if the stream needs to be rescheduled, if there's going to be a cancellation, and I also will repost any announcements for any collaborations that I'm a part of. So if you want to see more of my stuff, and if you want to see some of my friends who do, like, really cool shit, follow me on Blue Sky. Probably the best way to get that information. My Twitter is still up. I am literally only posting links to streams that I do on this channel. That's it. That's basically it. It's there purely for the people who don't want to move over from that platform. That's it. It's just to keep them in the loop. But yeah, I think that's basically everything. So, have a good night, everyone. And I will... Oh, wait. Fuck, I forgot. So, as far as I am aware at this point in time, because of course, like, with Great Ace Attorney, things keep coming up last minute. Like, I promise you guys, me and Val both really fucking want this game. We want to finish this game so bad. We love the characters. We love everything about the game. But, like, life keeps getting in the way, like with legally mandated karaoke. But this Sunday, over on the channel Valerie Valkyrie, I will be doing a stream with my good friend Val. We're going to be streaming more Great Ace Attorney, so if you want to go and check that out, it'll be this Sunday, I believe at 6 p.m. Don't quote me on that. I will be announcing it on Blue Sky as well, so don't worry. Don't worry. Like, you'll see this. You'll see links and shit, whatever. Anyways, before I drag this out any longer, I'm just gonna say goodnight. So, have a nice night, and I will see you next time. Bye!